that I think we've seen like the offlane undying into Drow and stuff a couple of times, and the lane just looks kind of miserable, or you're not really dominating in the way that you would expect an back in, and they've just got a Lotus Orb or something to their name, and the hero is still enormously useful. And we even saw earlier today the like Yamich pause 4 undying that became basically a carry with his Blink, Echo Saber, Abyssal Blade. That was in the VP Vici series. So this hero is still good, even though he got some nerfs and he fell off a tiny bit. Still going to be popular.
Yeah, I am enjoying the Snapfire though when it does get picked. Certainly not as popular as Undying, but it's a good answer to the Undying. But also, I find it's just like really nice to have a Pulse 4 who can kind of give you some form of initiation, some form of like jump stun, even if it's not the Snapfire herself going in. She kind of enables another hero to be that sort of secondary initiation, and the teams which give themselves that always seem to do better, I've noticed, especially Extreme. I think almost every game they've lost, they haven't had that kind of cheap throwaway initiation, and every game they've won, they've had it. They've had like that Lion or that the next Assassin as well. So Snapfire does sort of give you that in a different way.
Yeah, I like the Snapfire against the Undying in the game, but I've seen the lane be a little tricky just because at the end of the day you are a strength hero, so you can't really harass or trade with the Undying. But if you have a carry hero that can confidently kill the Undying, then suddenly the matchup can look really good, and being able to deal with the Tombstone is great. This Naga Siren comes out, and it's worth noting that this is actually a flex for Wildcard, and I think actually they probably played it more on position 5 than they've played it in any other role recently. So a lot of that was during regionals, and I think a lot of it this was Wildcard's answer to giving away the Faceless Void when Void was the #1 carry of that patch. And it was, okay, we're going to take the Naga. If it looks like a good Naga carry game, maybe we can play it there. Otherwise, Sam is just playing it as the position 5. Okay, here, this game, right? The song to set up for a Requiem on top of somebody. The song to just walk in and take down the Tombstone. So Polaris are going to prepare for both eventual here. Maybe start, but the patch has been banned, so they can't look towards that here for Natsumi. So maybe they can fish for a little bit more information from Wildcard, but this pick does seem to have thrown them for a loop, right? We absolutely flew up to this point in the draft, and now Polaris are just chugging reserve time.
Yeah, they're burning through it right now. But this is kind of a really important part. The kind of 3-4 picks definitely shape your draft more than any other picks throughout the tournament. So it's going to be the Tidehunter and the next Assassin. All right. Yeah,
okay. So they're getting rid of any Undying flex unless they want to run it position 1. Tidehunter just going to give them some more team fight, give them some buttons to push out of the song potentially. Just more stuns, hard to complain. The Nyx Assassin also just great against the Snapfire, right? You can always just run into the Mortimer's Kisses and cancel it at any distance, so they don't now have to worry about not having like a spirit hero or something to go find the Snapfire in the backlines. And okay, it does seem like the any Naga flex is just being thrown out the window immediately. It's just going to be pause 1 Ursa, pause 5 Naga, maybe pause 3. I don't know if Divine Llama actually plays it. That's some weird tech.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you kind of feel like they caught Polaris out here a little bit, because they've got the Tidehunter now into the Ursa, which is not a good matchup, right?
Yeah, I think that Wildcard have pulled a fast one on them a little bit here, and Polaris still don't seem to be completely across it because they're banning Witch Doctor, but I'm completely convinced that this is a Sam hero. So
yeah, I think we practiced, we watched the replays for
we did a whole bunch of
we saw it so many times.
Yeah, we saw plenty of this, so maybe a little bit of this being like, coming in, Wildcard was probably not a team that a lot of other teams spent a huge amount of time preparing for, and as a result, they're getting something going here. Okay, so we just have to think about what Davai Lama is going to play. His Pango is still in the pool. Kind of looks, honestly, it looks fine in this spot. I could also just see more ways to get on top of the Lina. I think even the offlane Venge that we saw in one series looked really nice against the Lina. This hero just can't play against getting swapped into the middle of a fight.
Yeah.
There's so little that you can do. Like, I guess you can buy a BKB and a Linken's, but that's so much net worth just to deal with, the enemy's offlane. So.
Yeah, there's also 2 of the Davai Lama specials I want to point out here. One of which being the Visage, which is still very much available, I think. So that could be an option if they just want to kind of raise the tempo a little bit. Alternatively, they could move towards the Viper and just have yet another answer for the Tide. And that means you can't lane switch against them either, because the Tide is going to have a miserable time whichever lane he goes to. So
yeah, I think that's a good call. And okay, so for Natsumi, what do you play here? Of course, they can stick the Lina safe lane if they want to, if they feel like there's a Lelouch hero that's amazing in this spot.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, they'll go Troll.
Okay.
Oof, okay. Interesting hero. I haven't been super convinced by it, but it does look good in the right situations. But is this the right situation? I'm not sure. I really like the Shadow Fiend matchup because you just kind of pop your ulti, Shadow Fiend pops his ulti, and then you just kind of run around doing this weird kind of glitchy walk thing. And now an axe comes out for the side of Wildcard. What? All right.
Okay. I mean, it's another hero to go get in on top of the Lina. I think he has some pretty difficult matchups this game, though, and I worry a little bit about the Snap Axe against the Undying. I don't gonna come out of that lane cleanly. Might not matter too much. I do think this is kind of a game where the Axe doesn't need to have an insane amount of farm to be valuable. They're just kind of hoping that he's there to deal with the troll. He's there to get in on top of the Lina. Maybe he gives them some kind of chance of killing the Tide Hunter, but not exactly what I was expecting. Lane is okay. I'm always worried about. Oh, okay. It's AU Tide Hunter, Force Undying. So they're not even going to have the Undying against the Axe.
You're not gonna have the Tide. Yeah, okay. You're not gonna have the Tide versus
Troll.
the Ursa. I mean, I still don't think Undying's particularly good in this offlane either, though. What do you think?
I'm not sure. I'm just gonna say it. I can't claim to be an expert on this matchup. I can't claim to be an expert on the Pause 5 Naga Siren, even though we knew it was gonna come out. On the one hand, I can see like, oh yeah, you can get a point in net, and then Ursa can just go and hit. But I don't think there's enough disables, because there's just gonna be the potential for Xavius to, when that happens, you walk away in theory. So
yeah,
some of it comes down to like, how do those cooldowns interact? How does the cooldown of net interact with the cooldown on the stun on the Nexus? So I'll have more thoughts once we actually get into the game, but I can't be certain.
Yeah, some very interesting lanes, some interesting switches going on, some crazy drafting from both these teams, which is exactly what we expected. Let's get into it. Game number 1 between Wildcard Gaming and Polaris. Can Wildcard carry the hopes of the Americas and get themselves a win here in the last chance qualifiers? Let's find out.
Wait, so okay, they have a position 5 Tide, but they're also executing a lane swap so that they can get their now position 3 Undying into the matchup that they want, which turns out to be the double strength lane.
Is everyone keeping up at home? You guys all got this, all right? We don't want to explain it again. Come on, get the notepads out. I'm gonna write it all down here. This is very confusing.
So I think the tricky thing is that Sam is already scouting with the illusion. So Wildcard might be able to figure this out before the lane starts. I mean, you're seeing the position 5 player. Oh, you're about to see the position 5 player down here on the Tide. I don't believe either team spotted the fact that they both have wards up on this high ground, so...
Very interesting. But yeah, I thought Axe was really weak in the lane, and I thought Troll was really strong in the lane, so it's kind of interesting that they still don't really prioritize laning the Troll versus the Axe so much.
Yeah. I guess this is the... Well, they haven't really gotten the Tide away from the Ursa, right? To your point.
Also that, yeah.
But he's the position 5, so maybe it matters less. Okay, Sam just walks in, hits AU with the tip, and dewards his small camp. Gonna be happy with that.
Yep. So it's the Pos 5 Nagasaran versus a Pos 5 Tidehunter, both in the same lane against each other. Jesus. Okay. All right. Whatever, guys. Whatever. Polaris Wildcard. You guys are having some fun with it. That's for sure. Some late night Dota here in Singapore.
Yep. Both these teams have their own flair, and I think that's the main thing that's coming in here. It's Polaris are always doing something a little bit kooky. Wildcard more stable, but they have some of this weird stuff up their sleeve, like the position 5 Naga Siren. So.
All right, let's take a look over towards the mid as we have Lelouch playing on the Lina versus Alone on the Shadow Fiend, and this is a bit of a trade. I think Lina has a slightly better advantage early on, but then once the SF gets going, they can kind of go toe for toe, right?
Yeah, this is the one lane without any shenanigans, so
yeah,
should just be straight up test a skill mid lane matchup. This is what we were hyping up before getting in, and
having said that, Alone is off to a really good start.
Yeah, he is doing really well. So he starting with a ton of mangoes, so his bottle's going to be a little bit slower, but yeah, still gets it here.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Meanwhile, up at top, Alex being chased down by Xavius here. Xavius doesn't have the Impale for a pretty long time, so turn this into a kill seems a little bit difficult. They're just trying to both block the camp here. Alex is going to be able to do exactly that, but this is a very annoying crab/scorpion thing. Oh, Lelouch in the middle lane, getting very low here. Alone trying to finish the job. One more right click will land it. First blood for Alone in the middle lane.
Oh my god,
my goodness.
And he gets his bottle, and he gets all 3 sips, and he's gonna get both water runes. All right, he just destroyed the Lina there. Must have just let 2 stacks build up and then couldn't get away from him.
That's insane. I mean, that is crazy for Alina to die this early in the middle lane. Alone is just wow. What we were expecting big things from him, but this is a very impressive start.
Yeah, that's
down
huge.
at bottom. He's getting pretty low to Natsumi, and he won't be able to finish the job though. And he's got a salve to get himself nice and healthy under that tower.
Yeah, the Naga is not the strongest zoning and harassing support, so. Still gonna take some punishment from the Gush. Well, still gonna be just a strong laner.
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely worse Nagasaran support game due to the illusions getting killed off and having their damage reduced by the anchor smash, right? So maybe that was the answer to the top lane. Nice 2-man stun from Xavius. Might buy him the time to get under the tower. Certainly will. Was in a little bit of trouble there, but gets himself to safety.
Divine Llama doesn't have the best CS currently. But if he can keep this up, Force doesn't have a whole lot of mana left in the tank. He's been trying to get all the way to the arcane boots, but needs to get a couple more CS in this wave before he can even look at getting those delivered. And I think he has to.
Yep.
His courier isn't over by anything, right? It's just he's gonna have to try and either get level 4 or go and walk to the secret shop, which is not going to be easy.
It's an awkward situation to be in, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know if I love... Okay, Xavius is going mid to try and kind of salvage the Lina's lane a little bit with a refill, but I don't know if I love him just letting Divine Llama getting away with this deep cutting and back laning at top.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Especially, you know, as I said, most people seem to agree that, bottom lane, we actually have Yves going down to Natsumi. Troll Warlord getting it done. Wow, that's a very critical kill, actually. As,
Okay, Axe is stunned. Okay. Can
The
you just
mid-air
TP? Stick TP? Oh, but if you spin... Oh, he's already used Spike Carapace. I used the
It might be going down here. Soul Rip's out onto him. The spins are coming through, but Xavius on his tail. Doesn't have a stun, but doesn't really matter. Force is able to bring him down regardless and alone. Actually going to whiff a little bit there onto Xavius. Xavius gets away from the Shadow Fiend, so nothing really going their way. But Alex was able to come around the back, and I think he took out the Tombstone by himself, so a bit of gold going to the Snapfire at least.
Been trying to be there to get that kill. He was just there to try and get to the secret shop and pick up his arcane boots.
Alex is taking a lot of damage here from Xavius and the creeps. That Lama's going to come over and keep them off in, but
oh no!
yeah, oh no! Oh no! The cookie of death!
I winced when I saw that coming. It was yeah. The damage is credited to the Snapfire, so
yep.
Ouchie.
Oh dearie me. Well, that's certainly one way to die. That's getting creative there, honestly. Poor old Alex getting caught out. It's actually walking to the mid lane despite having a TP. Curious.
He's gonna have to get used to getting Spike Carapace this game. I think there's gonna be a lot of that unless his team can somehow find and kill the Nyx assassin before he starts looking for the Mortimer kisses.
Yeah, you gotta be very careful with that. He can counter it easily, especially with the link damage on those kisses. It's really hard to avoid him. That's generally a very good Nyx game this game. And another day, another bottle refill in the middle lane. Active Rune is bottom. Sammy Boy there, ready to defend this double damage, but there's a lot of heroes from Polaris coming over. Xavius, he's actually just going to come in and he's going to snatch that up for himself. So Xavius grabbing the Laguna Blade onto Sammy Boy. Not going to be enough damage to bring him down though. Questionable.
Eve's kind of out on an island at bottom. They know that Sam's not here. Alone's going to try for the TP in. Cancels it. Okay.
Well, apparently the threat of the TP was enough to force them away, and Eves is absolutely fine. Or is he?
On the
As they come under the tower. Oh dear. Eves in the bottom lane in a lot of trouble. He's in deep. Natsumi chasing him down. He's got the ranged axes available in just a second here. As Loach will fall in the middle lane, Eves will go down at bottom.
So I was watching mid, so Alone got the triple raise, manned up, got stunned. Xavius came over to try and save the day, but Alex was also there. Cookied Alone a little bit further away, and he finished off the leading with the last raise.
Wow, that's very action-packed laning phase so far. Yeah, it certainly is. He actually might just be dead here. Certainly will.
That is not easy. Naga's collision size is tiny, so that was pretty sick from AU.
Yeah, Natsumi on this Troll Warlord really having a good time down here at bottom. Such a strong laner.
Yeah, and he's not going greedy at all. He's just picked up a Falcon Blade so far. Yves just can't seem to get anything done. Every single time he shows up at bottom, just takes a gush to the face, a couple of hits from the Troll Warlord, and has to back off. But he can't really go jungle, so he just has to sort of take it on the chin, at least for now. Catch up Battle Fury is being queued up for the time being, but a huge amount of pressure on Alone this game to kind of make the rotations and be the one making space while they wait for Yves to catch up.
Yeah, he's so poor at the moment. Lowest net worth core by quite some margin. 500 guard on the Lina, who's also having a kind of rubbish time.
Axe has just got a Vanguard and is backlaning over by the enemy tier 3 at the moment.
It's just kind of playing his own game, trying to get as much as possible out of the map. As AU's going to fall down at bottom Alone, catch them out with the haste rune. That's going to be an easy kill for the Shadow Fiend.
Oh, this guy has no chill, man.
Alright, it's a nice start. This is the kind of thing that they need Alone to be doing. He's really the only one in a position on the map to be making all that many plays. You know, the support Naga Siren is not going to be ganking anytime soon. He's got a point up in the ensnare, but
they are moving on to Davai Lama here, and Davai Lama doesn't really have many options. He's actually trying to finish the kill to Xavius. Xavius is just kind of duking up on down the high ground, luring him in as Davai Lama will get gunned down by Lelouch in the end.
Okay, Divine Llama's
All
like,
right.
yeah, it was a big rotation, buddy. You had to come all the way to over to this tier 3. And Alex takes the opportunity to sneak in here and grab the bounty. That might give them a hint that there's a ward around here, but
Possibly. Alone is trying to get sneaky up to AU here, but AU's not coming anywhere near that pit. If he did, he might have gotten cookied and requiem'd, but not happening today.
so the Pulse 5 Naga can fulfill a little bit of a similar role to, like, say your Winter Wyvern, where you are able to kind of sit down here and hold on to your safe lane tower for a really long time. It's gonna be tricky against the lineup that Polaris have. I do think that if they want to, they can come and muscle down this tier 1 tower really whenever, but it will probably be a trade with the Vailama constantly cutting top, unless Force just wants to continue to sit up here. He's just farming on the Undying and doing just fine. He's not that far behind the Shadow Fiend. It's been a complete farm trade on the top lane. And I said that, you know, Undying looks good with as a core with not that much net worth, and he's gonna have a lot.
So what are the big rotations you're expecting to see now that we're kind of moving past the laning phase a little bit?
I think the biggest thing might actually be who can get a sneaky Roche. There's potential on both sides. It's a big comeback mechanic potentially for the Ursa to just go in there with somebody to tank and take it. But at the same time, they can also take it pretty easily on Polaris with their Undying and the Troll. So that's kind of it. Lina and the Shadow Fiend really the first ones that are going to be moving, and Divine Llama is getting pretty close to the blink, so that's probably the other big one for Wildcard. Is just teaming up the Axe with the level 6 Snapfire, and they're giving Alex the experience at mid and hoping that they can start getting things going there.
Yeah, very low on XP on the side of Wildcard actually. Both Sammy Boy and Alex both not level 6 just yet, so scrapping out for all the XP they can find on the map at the moment. And Xavier's also going to be taking the mid lane to try and get his Vendetta up. Whilst Loach farms some stacks, and I believe Alone took some stacks up on the top side as well. They had the hard camp stacked for him, so he's able to get those and get himself a bit of money. And now putting pressure on top. Llama's moved over as well. Force is nearby, but I don't really know how much he can really do. They're just kind of ignoring him at the moment, which is interesting. They take the tower, they'll look over towards the Undying himself. He gets off the tombstone, but Alone just focusing all the damage onto Force. The Ravage comes in from behind AU. They're getting on top of Alone right now. Laguna Blade is there, and they bring him down. Shadow's Fiend is out for the count. Kiss is coming over, trying to help out Davai Lama, but Davai Lama ain't going to be able to do much, especially with those kisses being cancelled out by the Nyx Assassin. They will lose the Axe as well. Two big heroes dead in the top lane for Wildcard.
Wildcard absolutely not expecting Polaris to respond after the tower was already dead, but just getting caught out by how quickly Polaris can get the numbers in there, especially with these boots of travel picked up for the Lina. And that really hurts. You know, Alone's the one hero on the side of Wildcard that's really farming well, and even setting back the Vailama on the blink.
Yeah, it's brutal, and this Azza is getting bullied on the bottom side as Sammy Boy tries to go in for the rune here, but Xavier is on top of him, and now Natsumi's going to sweep across as well, and will grab himself a cheeky little kill.
Polaris just all in on the kind of the momentum game here. He has picked up a Maelstrom, so a little bit of farming there, but it's just a BKB queued up straight after that. I think they know just how rough of a spot the Ursa's in, and trying to just keep playing this game 4v5 while they can just keep running at them. They do have the better team fight for the time being with this core Undying and the Tidehunter.
Yeah, Davai Lama actually failing to get off the cookie onto Force there, so won't be getting that little side kill. Would have been really nice for them to have caught that one out, but just
smoke immediately with the blink. But I think this may have been scouted by the Dire Ops, not the blink being delivered, but the smoke. So
yeah, let's see. I mean, they'll be probably happy to go into the tower, but if they can catch out the Warlord...
Yeah, they're going all the way bottom. But it's just the two of them. 10 seconds to go on Mortimer Kisses. So they're just waiting for that.
Yeah, a bit of waiting in the bottom side, but this should be a kill onto Natsumi, I believe. 1 second on the Kisses. They will land with the call, and Natsumi going to get very low indeed. Does get off the battle trance, but there comes a Culling Blade.
All right, get the tips going, get the voice lines going. Wildcard trying to get this momentum happening for them. I'd say, okay, there was nothing on the courier, but yeah. Xavier's gonna be happy with that one. This is quite a bit of space for Eves. He is, you know, he's getting there, but it's gonna take a little while longer.
He suffered a lot. This poor bear.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of why Wildcard are the only team that play Pos 5 Naga Siren, and there are some reasons for that. It's just not strong in the lane, right? It's a conscious decision. This lane especially that they were up against was super difficult. I don't think they were ever going to be able to put pressure on the Troll Tide, so it was always going to be a catch-up game for him.
Yeah, I think in retrospect it's pretty obvious that Polaris did have a plan for the Naga Siren 5, and it was kind of like the bait on the counter bait.
Yeah,
it's all got very confusing very quickly.
We're too many layers deep. I need like a pin board with some red string and
yeah.
Okay, so the timing is really just double BKB for Polaris. That's kind of what they're waiting for here. Nothing else that's like enormously relevant.
Yeah, although Ursa's moving up on top, and Xavius is sitting right behind him.
Oh, the cookie into the Requiem! Oh, he got it off. Oh, no.
Yeah, Natsumi still able to get off the battle trance, but there's a song from Sammy Boy just to hold them back. Also seeing EU on the side. Meanwhile, up on the top side, Eves is going to end up falling to Natsumi's going to die as well to the Culling Blade. Now they look forward for more. Net out onto AU here. They'll follow it up with a Berserker's Call, and they'll get that kill as well. Sam being gunned down by the Luch and forced though, as they'll get that kill on the sidelines. Wildcard, what's a play? They're trying to get themselves back towards the tree line here. They don't actually want to fight this alone, going for the TP out. No chance of him turning this one around. A blink out from the Axe as well. Got to get him to safety. Meanwhile, Alex, he doesn't have a TP, so he's just going to bury himself deep in the tree line and hope for the best.
Xavius is finding some clues. He's like, okay.
Yeah, he hasn't pieced it together, though.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to hang out all this time, so Alex should be okay. A little scary that they didn't immediately get that kill. It was a sick combo, alone with the perfect positioning. Well, almost perfect. You know, almost ended up right on top of the troll and just one-shot him, but yeah. A little sketchy when he survives and they then have to let the rest of Polaris kind of come and respond. These are the kind of places they need. Very unfortunate that the Ursa died on the other side of the map while that was happening.
Yes. But yeah, it would have been very good if not for the fact that yeah, the exact same thing basically was happening on the other side of the map.
Yeah, there was a parallel play going on from Polaris.
Look at this again, man. They're just Wildcard are just wanting to play some Dota. They're wanting to make moves at the moment. What will they find? They're playing under their wall at the moment. There's a smoke up from Polaris. They're moving into Roshan. Interesting here.
Yeah, this is what I talked about. They know that the song's still on cooldown, importantly, so not easy for Wildcard to contest.
This is going down way quicker than I
They've got the Requiem again. The Vylama can need to go in here.
Yeah, Kiss is coming over, but Xavier's going to cancel out. They jump in, they try to get off the call, they do so. Is it going to be enough? He actually picks up the Aegis. He gets it on Dabai Lama, and Natsumi to fall. Dabai Lama coming back into the game as Sammy Boy comes around the side, gets off the net, wants to force. Wildcard, what's the play here? They're going to jump in, another two-man call. Dabai Lama setting them up and knocking them down. 3 heroes dead on the side of Polaris. That was not the plan for them.
Oh, they thought they could get away with the Roshan for free, but sick plays from Wildcard. They got that at the very last second. Insane that the Vylama just managed to sneak around. I think it may have even... Did they even get the... They got the Roshan last hit as well. So they called. There were enough people hitting him so that he just sat there spinning. And then I think the spins plus the Mortimer Kisses just killed it off. And he was able to snag it at the very last second.
Oh, so close as well. My god, that was just on the edge. What a play from Wildcard here. Absolutely well.
Dang.
What else can they do?
Well, for now, they can keep making these same plays with the SF and the Axe, but the Ursa is now well and truly starting to catch up. and they've opened up the map enough, so now the Naga scouting and Naga shoving lanes is actually going to be kind of a threat. And you know, the troll has committed to a less late game item build. You know, they were going for this double BKB timing. I think they have to just kind of keep going for that. Vylama finding Lelouch. Yeah, gets the call. There isn't any follow-up. So
yeah, SF's not really coming over. I'm not sure if the singular raise would have been enough to help, and that's all he'll be able to
he's got
get
another blink call. I mean, he can go again, and the free play spawning.
He's going for it. Oh,
it was a nice try.
Absolute madman, yeah.
Yeah.
Could be in some trouble here.
I believe he's dead for this one, yeah, but I still, you got to give him props. And he draws all 5 heroes from Polaris.
That was revenge for Lalage there.
Oh man. Look, I feel like Wildcard are playing. We said that they got to play loose, try and shake off the nerves. The early game was not looking fantastic, but it seems like they're finding their groove now. Being able to make a play like that under these circumstances, I think, speaks a lot to probably the atmosphere on the team currently.
I mean, he's called the Davai Lama, right? Like, yes. It's kind of in the name. Yes. You know, he's got to stay on brand. Very important.
I do have to say, it's not like, you know, Polaris are completely out of this now. It was a big setback, gambling for that Roshan and being punished, and now they do have their double BKB timing, so should be able to go and make something happen.
Jumping out, oh, 2-man call though from Davai Lama, manages to get the Invis Nyx Assassin. What the earth was that call? AU, it's gonna get off the Ravage though. They'll look for the turnaround onto Alex, and with the Laguna Blade coming through, they'll get it. Davai Lama though, he doesn't really I mean, he does have to blink in 2 seconds, but a little bit off the mark there on the timing to catch him in the creep wave, so.
A 1-for-1 when you're using the Ravage.
Yeah.
Wildcard are perfectly happy with that. And AU's not even out. It's his turn to be stuck up here with no TP. They're smoking Elspur on the map though. They don't have any vision in this area, so they're a little hesitant about just charging up onto the high ground, but they scan first. And
what can they find?
Yeah, I don't know if they'll find anything.
I don't think so, no. Lodge is straight into the triangle. Although, that said, Davai Lama and Alone again, very adventurous here. Moving right the way across the map, but yeah, it's been read very well by Polaris here, so they won't be getting much. Over top though, he's getting on top of AU here. AU making his way towards the trees. Okay, he's just running in the wrong direction.
Has he just been up here with no TP this entire time?
He's chilling.
Okay.
This is his new home.
He's got a TP coming now. It's okay. I did want to point out the Shadow Fiend's build as well. This man is, I don't know if I've seen this since like Garena days, back in Dota 1, but this is just no BKB, 1600 HP, straight up Daedalus Nomad.
Damn, that's a pretty Chadley build if you ask me. Well, Davai Lama jumping in here. It's Undying who's taking the heavy hits, but it's Davai Lama who's got a full first as Lote takes him out. Song used by Sam, but Lote just starts wailing on him right now. They'll take down the Tombstone and try to get themselves out, but the stun she lands onto East. He's going to have to pop the Enrage here if he wants to get away, and that will exactly happen. Natsumi BKB and Battle Trance being used, and he changes aggro towards Sammy Boy and takes him out. Alone now getting to the high ground, needs to run, doesn't have the ulti as this Troll Warlord tries to run him down, but Alone does get away. Not really able to make much use of the Daedalus in that fight, has to be said.
And Alex is getting hunted here by Lelouch. He's only got enough mana for 1 spell. Still juking. Alright.
A very blessed area on the map for supports at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, somehow. There's been a lot of stuff happening in the corners.
Oh. Eve's finding AU again here, but Eve being very annoying. Just slowing him down and getting away.
Reminds him that he's got the Ravage. he cast it once there. Just to, hey, you want to blink on this? You're welcome to. I do think this constant back and forth is kind of favoring Wildcard though, as the you can't really tell looking at the net worth now that Ursa was ever really behind, and
yeah, true.
The BKBs and stuff haven't really progressed Polaris's position all that much. They're hoping for some pickoffs with this like Nyx and the Shadow Blade on the Lina.
Yeah, but Wildcard are playing very disciplined, I want to say. Like, they're not really dangling down lanes too much unless there's a solid plan behind it. Like right here, with the Shadow Fiend is showing. Bye-bye Llama looking for a time. Oh, he almost gets exactly onto the Loach there. That was very close indeed. Cookie comes out, but I'm not sure they're going to find them, or maybe they will. The dust is onto them. They managed to connect with it some way, somehow. They managed to find it. Oh my god, the damage coming through onto Xavius. There comes a crit. Nice 700 damage. Right click from Alone will take him down. Emo on the side forces pop the tombstone, which is just going to give Wildcard more money. All right.
Wildcard are being super enabled to make these crazy plays with all three of their cores running at Polaris, just because the Naga is the one dealing with the lane. She doesn't need items to do this. Sammy is still just kind of keeping mid shoved out. He's scouting. He's keeping bottom shoved out. And in the meantime, Divine Llama alone and Eves, you can have all three of them running up to the top corner of this map. And they don't even get punished for it in terms of map position, which is kind of crazy.
Damage on that tower as well. I don't even think Polaris were expecting that one to fall, but Alone just committing to the tower, and with the extra little bit of anti-armor there from the little shredder, able to kill it out without needing another creep wave there. Very, very
yeah,
good.
He's got the presence or effect buildings too. I still can't believe what I'm looking at with this Shadow Fiend build. It's crazy. He had a good start, but I didn't think that this was what was going to be the result of that. He could certainly die if he ever catches, gets clipped by a Ravage or anything. In theory, he's just dead, but he's feeling himself.
It's a lot. Wait, are they baiting the Roche pit here? He's just sitting inside the pit.
They got to be careful. They do have a blink follow-up on the Nyx.
Yeah, as they try it, they go in with the song. Alone doesn't have the gap close to get on top of them for a nice Requiem, unfortunately, as Loach comes in. He popped the BKB on the Lina to try and mess with this one. Davai Llama just trying to grab AU here. They're going to throw down the Ravage, but with the Cookie coming through to force him away, they're not going to get that one. They're trying to get a Loach on the backlines here for the Ursa. Has he overcommitted to this? He's going to turn around and start fighting into the Undying instead, but BKB is about to run out. Could be vulnerable on the Ursa here. Got to be careful. He's taking some hits from Natsumi. Natsumi thinking of committing the ultimate, but no, backing away. They want to hold the line here on Polaris. The Sammy Boy still staying on the front of this Naga Siren as well. Like, Sammy Boy is more than happy to use his body as like the mark in the sand for Wildcard, but it ends up with both teams backing away from each other. Just a lot of posturing and no actual commitment.
I think a little bit more expensive for Polaris. They used Lina BKB, they used Ravage, they used the Tombstone. Meanwhile, in Wildcard, it's just the song, Ursa BKB. So I think they're in a slightly better position to go and fight again if they want, but there's no Roshan or anything, so looks like instead just back out onto the map, and Sam continues to be a pain with all this scouting.
He really does. Yeah. It's an annoying guy on this Naga Siren. Played a lot of it though. Very good with these illusions, finding them the information. It kind of reminds me of the clockwork we saw earlier on from Na'Vi, where you just build the Agnons as quickly as possible, spam out all the flares.
Yeah.
Very similar vibes from this Naga Siren.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of cool because Sam, former carry player, right? So he's probably played his fair share of the core Naga Siren as well, and fully transferring those skills over here. And Polaris are, they're just trying to huddle around their ward. They're not really farming. They're not really doing a whole lot on the map. It seems like they're feeling the pressure. Their plan was, okay, we've got Undying with the strong team fight. We've got our double BKB timing. We should be able to go, and yet they keep kind of being rebuffed by Wildcard at every turn.
Yeah, it's been a very awkward way. Like, do you think it's because they don't really have ways to start fights too easily? Is that why it feels a little bit awkward from Polaris?
Yeah, it is tricky, right? I think that's part of why we see the Shadow Blade coming out in the Lina. It's just like, the only other way we have to start a fight is the Nyx just blinking in and hitting a straight up impale, which is not easy. That's also part of why I think Alone is able to get away with this build that he's gone for, because there just aren't great ways to jump. And as we saw, even when they did kind of commit and it was a little awkward for Wildcard there with the Tombstone on the high ground, they've got a Force Staff on Alex, and he's got the Shard Cookie, so they're actually able to kite away 1,000 range on a hero really, really easily. And Polaris are kind of getting kited around in circles, and I think it's just going to continue to get worse, really. The BKBs on the Lina and the Troll are very easy to deal with here, I think, if you're Wildcard. You have to be so careful about how to use them.
Well, as the Observer points out, Satanic finished up on the Troll Warlords, so even more frontlining potential from Natsumi. Very clear that he's got one ambition this game, and that is to be the guy in the front, making space for Loach to get off the real damage.
Yeah, maybe this gives him a tool to survive against getting blink called with the blade mail. I think that's kind of the main, the main point here. But
ooh, smoke up from both teams here. Be a bit of a target. He's just walked into the entirety of Polaris here. They're going to initiate upon him, and they're not going to be able to get off the song. That is going to be dead no time. Immediate buyback though, and a jump in and a call onto 2. Can they follow up with any damage? Yes, they can. Natsumi and Force taken out of the fight as they take down the Tombstone as well. Polaris sent scattering here as they just immediately lose 2 of their most important heroes in the fight, and now it's Eves in the pit, taking down Roshan.
This completely belongs to Wildcard. There's absolutely nothing that Polaris can do to contest this one. Now with a 9k lead. They held on in the early game, and it feels like the momentum just completely in Wildcard's hands now.
Yeah. I mean, how is Devi Lama able to get off so many good calls this game? This is crazy. Too close together, and the axe is there. The big red man is upon them.
I don't know if they had, maybe he had a tiny bit of vision from the sentry that Sammy put down right before he died. Because I don't know how he saw the troll. You know, they saw the general vicinity that he was in, but it kind of looked like he knew that he was running straight into the pit there.
Devi Lama getting it done. What a game from him.
I was like, oh, you're picking this axe into. It's like, is axe this good? This game is axe a hero? Devi Lama making it look great in his goofy hat.
It's a lovely hat.
What's the matter with you? You just attacked Dyer's bottom towers. Destroyed.
Yeah, Polaris, what can you do, really?
Dyer's bottom tower's under attack. Oh, great. Dyer's bottom tower.
Do anything like that. The hero's just dead too quickly. It's insane amount of damage coming out from Alone. Insane amount of damage coming out from Devi Lama as well. Even the troll with his Satanic there just couldn't do a thing. It's just ridiculous how quickly these heroes are getting dropped.
Yeah, they're both just so susceptible to this initiation, and Polaris with no real save. I mean, you look at Lelouch, he's even just TPing to this top wave. They're gonna see him on this Radiant Ward. So they know that he's stuck up here. There's no way for him to escape. He has to try and wait out the 25 seconds successfully. Devi Lama's on his case.
Hello, friend. Goodbye, friend. Devi Lama, big red man, getting it done.
Yeah, Lelouch knows. He pings. He's like, they have to have vision here. They saw me TPing on the wave or something.
But they're going in the mid lane though. They're going to be able to get the dieback from Sam. Maybe. Although Alone's coming over. He's dealing a lot of damage to Natsumi here, chasing Natsumi back. And maybe even doing more than that. If he gets the crit through, oh no, the cookie comes in, but Natsumi gets off the battle trance. The Requiem is there though, but Natsumi's just gonna be able to take him down regardless, but will die immediately afterwards as Devi Lama gets the spin, now gets the cult moving for Xavius as well. He's trying to help him out, but they don't get the call, so Xavius is gonna be able to get away in the invis, but yeah, I don't know, trading the SF for 3 heroes like that, I think that's a trade you're probably gonna make.
Yeah, oh, the Cookie, a little bit awkward. He just survived. I don't think that's exactly where Alone wanted to end up, but yeah, still certainly not bad. All these fights are just happening on the Polaris side of the map, on Wildcard's terms, and it doesn't really feel like any of the the next handful of items for the Lina or the Troll is really going to change the status quo. Trying to punish the Devi Lama down here.
Yeah, they're moving on to the axe, and I think they've managed to catch him out here. Does not have the BKB available, so it is going to be a kill for the Lelouch onto the axe. A little bit of revenge for this Lina.
All right, it's something, and they'll finally be able to maybe get this bottom lane out and get a little bit of space on the map. But Eves has now overtaken the 2 dire cores. Scoreline still nothing to write home about, 3-3 and 3, but he's hit a whole lot of creeps, and it's like we said in the very long fill at the start of the series that even when he's having a slow start, Wildcard can rely on this guy to get the farm that he needs and end up in the end up as the carry that his team needs him to be. Helps that he's got a Alone along for the ride as well, who's having an absolutely amazing game.
One thing I'm a little bit I mean, we saw that cookie earlier onto the Shadow Fiend, you know, as you say, not the greatest position he wanted to be in there.
Be careful.
He's not going to be able to get off the Enrager, he's just dead. Oh dear. Alex is nearby though, he can 4-staff in and gobble up if needs be. Doesn't really need to though, just give him the cookie, 4-staff him away, and that'll get him out of dodge. But yeah, not the ideal usage of an Aegis there.
No, certainly not. He didn't have it for that much longer, so not the end of the world, but I think Wildcard would have liked to have maybe grouped up and gone and just taken some control over the enemy triangle, you know, get some more vision down there, continue with the lane cutting from Sam, just keep farming up the whole map.
Yep, and looking like next Roshan is probably going to be the next big objective we look at. Neither team having quite enough of an advantage. I mean, well, Wildcard are pretty jacked, honestly. And they want to go with a play with this Ags on Alex. This could be a very interesting one.
I'm wondering even if, are they going to be using it that much for initiation, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Develama carrying this gem around, so we can just continue constricting the map.
Blink Call is a very hard thing to, like, you know, carapace or BKB or whatever, but a thrown in accident. Oh, another amazing setup here for Davai Lama as they get 2 kills straight off the bat. Set up beautifully by Sammy boys. They look forward for more. Force under the tier 3, but I don't think they care. There comes Adam's Halberd to slow down these, but it's delaying the inevitable as Davai Lama gets another kill. And now they just start slamming away on the tier 3 tower.
They are absolutely feeling it this game. Really.
Not my problem, but Dire top tower.
What a performance from all of Wildcard. Polaris, yeah, coming out of the landing stage in a pretty good spot, but just a bit lost. I don't know how much of that you can put down to Alone kind of winning the mid lane, maybe Polaris not having the Lelouch to kind of rally around. Davai Lama just getting huge. He's even finding the Troll Warlord down here at bottom. Doesn't have any backup.
Yeah, this might be a step too far for the Davai Lama here, but whilst that's all happening, they're just running through and trying to take all the melee barracks at once. They've already taken top, they've taken mid, but now I think it's time to get yourselves away. Eve's on the run, and I think they'll be able to get out of this one.
They didn't get a gem back, did they? They got stolen. Yeah, okay. Troll took it back with him.
Yeah.
Scrolls of War. So even that 1800 gold swing is not going to be anything in the face of this now 18k lead. If it was hard for them to get out on the map before, with just the constant Naga vision and lanes being shoved in, it's now going to be nigh on impossible with 2 lanes of racks down. So should be Wildcard just securing the Roche. It's just been a Davai Lama show this whole game. Some beautiful initiations.
Yeah, might have been a step too far to try and go for the troll there, but yeah, I mean, considering what his team were doing to their base at the time, we can forgive him, I think.
He's not that big. He's only got 18 armor with the dunks. Maybe needs a little bit more to man up on the troll. And Polaris trying to punish the fact that the axe is still dead for now, but Wildcard reading this pretty nicely. Only going to stick. Can actually afford to be the one getting gone on.
Yeah, and then we go with the... Oh my god, there's so much damage! Lilina, she's almost dead. Eve can't quite finish the job, though. Meanwhile, on the side alone, actually popping the BKB and has a double damage and starts blasting it into Force. Force pretty tanky, though, on that Undying. Happy to sit to the front line, disassembling the Aeon disc as a Ravage comes through as well. Natsumi getting off the ultimate, trying to bring down Eve and able to do so. Now moves across towards Davai Lama as well. Davai Lama doesn't have a way out right now. They do, actually. The song comes through, holds them back. Wildcard, I mean, Davai Lama sticking around, almost looking like he's going to go for something here as Alone alone, brings out Xavius on the sidelines, and Lelouch finds the entry point onto the axe to bring him down. Natsumi gets on top of Sam. Sammy Boy trying to run to the trees, but I don't think they're going to save him here. Net comes out, but Lelouch takes him out. In comes Alone, though, with that Aghanim's from the Snapfire. Is this a play, though, is the question. They're trying to play around them right now, but Natsumi's pretty damn tanky, especially with that Satanic, so they will just have to back themselves away. A very risky move there from Wildcard. This done! Oh no, they catch him out. The rest of Polaris getting on top of him here. The Snapfire trying to do something to help out, but there is nothing to be done for Alone. Polaris just playing on a nice edge, are able to take this fight.
It cost them 2 buybacks, but Song of the Siren resetting the fight just lets Lelouch get back in. Oh, now the Roshans respawns. Oh, and Polaris are going to be able to claim this. Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Yeah, so
I mean,
the Ursa he pressed everything thinking he was going to kill the Lina, and then Lina survives on nothing. Ursa's used all of his cooldowns. That was rough. And then this final TP getting canceled by Alone was just the cherry on top from Xavius. The Nyx assassin plays today have been out of control.
they've been ridiculous. Yeah, they've been absolutely ridiculous, and now a huge change of momentum in this game as they've managed to pick up an Aegis and a whole lot of other goodies on the troll wall. He's got an Aegis, he's got a cheese, he's got a Refresher shard as well. It might be tempting to give this refresher to the shard on to the Tide Hunter, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Mana situation is not the best, but what's that? 650 plus another 200. So that's yeah, that's your whole mana budget.
All right.
in
No
two
other spells
ravages.
allowed.
Yeah, no shard, no tendrils of the deep, nothing like that. Unless you want to buy some mangoes, but yeah, this could be huge. So probably needing to hold on to the enrage, if at all possible. And Wildcard just gonna, they had this game in their hands, just gonna have to clean it up on terms of the teamfight execution.
Yeah. Falling back to what they know, but coming up this hill would be a terrible idea, and they're realizing that. They're staying away. Unless someone really tempting shows themselves, but that's certainly not the troll with an Aegis, not the time you want to jump. But they will just get this quick kill onto the Nyx Assassin. That one I'm even pop with the BKB just to make sure nothing array goes wrong there.
I mean, I see some TPs going out towards top, so they should just be able to sweep all the way through their jungle now. AU, yeah, okay, you can't stick around for too long, but we'll grab a little bit of farm on the way out. It does really hurt for Wildcard that they lost their gem earlier, so... And they might even, given that they're up against double invis, they might actually be low on their sentry counts now. Yeah, Sam's got a gem queued up in the quick buy, but he still needs 1 minute and 45 to grab that. So unfortunately, they just end up leaving this observer ward up on the high grounds. Could give Polaris an opportunity to just smoke right into that area once they get the respawn going.
And this is the thing about Naga-san, right? As a pulse 5, you know, Sammy is still finding farm on the map wherever possible. Not taking it away from his teammates, but just occasionally, you know, going in deep here and killing off the Ancients. And that means he's got himself a right now, so...
Yeah, he's got some net worth. He can continue to grow. I don't think we'll see a point where he swaps over to buying any damage items, but... still good.
Full utility for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, the shard could actually be kind of interesting here, though. I don't know how much the healing is going to be relevant. This is
very, very quick.
Yeah, people are dying pretty fast. Speaking of Sam getting...
Go for that outpost.
They're pinging in the triangle. This is blind. They don't know if anybody... Oh, actually, wait, they have a ward here as well. Oh my god. Wildcard not having this gem, not having the sentries anymore. What is that chat wheel?
Oh, I never heard that before.
Oh god, Eve.
Oh no, he's gonna make an oopsie boopsie. He's jumping in here, getting beaten on down. He has got the in-rate though, and the BKBs is gonna survive for the time being, but they'll have to commit the Requiem to keep him alive. And now Llama jumping in. I don't know if this is the play though. The Ravage #1 coming on through. Natsumi surviving through it all and healing back up again through the other end of that ultimate. Alex needs to stay away, but Force is just on top of him right now. So they find the Shadow Fiend on the sideline as well. BKB's out from him, but he can't fight into. Cookie out, Song coming through as well. All three of them set up beautifully for guess who? Davai Lama waiting on the high ground here, ready to jump, but decides against it. Knows that there is another Ravage actually available, so they will wait.
Stressful fight. They just managed to bail out the Ursa. This is Ags is doing its job, and Polaris still trouble at home. They do still have to constantly go back and deal with this. Davai Lama just whiffed the Culling Blades on the Troll Warlord. I don't know if it would have mattered too much because he did still have the Aegis, but now he doesn't have a buyback. This net worth lead's being completely eroded. Finally, they get the gem again. Finally comes off cooldown, so they're now able to deal with some of these high grounds. Wait, did
Haven't been over yet. They just got the gem.
I thought they used it on that hill. Did he just miss the AoE or what?
Yes, so, but oh, this is a bit risky. Davai Lama, he's gonna be careful. Beautifully done as they take down one. They'll look towards Alex as well. He'll drop as well. Sammy Boy getting to the high ground. Might escape as Yee's committing hard to this one, but there's a cheese coming out. Yee's getting kind of low as Natsumi chasing him into the base. Battle Trance activated. The kisses are coming through, but doing absolutely nothing. They'll lose Sammy Boy the once. He's going to buy back into this one as the Shadow Fiend respawns and TP's on over. Polaris will back out for now, I'd imagine, but they've done a lot of damage to the side of Wildcard with this.
Deal with it, Nomads.
It is just
my poor heart. Polaris making this really that Ravage was absolutely sick, but Alex completely playing his heart out to try and save the game here with the gobble ups, the cookies, the force staff. Wildcard just has to.
Alex saving absolutely everyone. Like, my god, there's so many saves coming out from him. The full stuff's a cookie, as you say. It's just huge game from Snapfire. So everyone's having a really sick game on both teams. That's why it's such a good game. I think.
It's a sloppy game, but it's a good game. Certainly.
It's exactly what we wanted from the lower bracket of the last chance qualifiers, I think.
And this is only game one. Xavius feeling confident with his Aeon Disc and his gem, but
yeah. Little cookie to get himself away. This is one persistent guy, though. Xavius is, yeah, we know what he's like. We've seen a lot of his gameplay across yesterday. Just you can never. He's one of those guys which you never feel comfortable going on because there's a good chance he's completely alone and is just being a lunatic. There's also a good chance he's got an entire team behind him, and you never really know which it is.
He made a nice little play there. He flickered his Aeon Disc into his backpack so that it wouldn't get popped by the Naga illusions. Are starting to see the Shadow Feed now, and if the Troll Warlord gets in on top of him, Natsumi can definitely rip him to shreds. And all of a sudden in the last little bit, Natsumi taking this #1 spot on the net worth.
Yeah,
looking pretty scary. He's even ditched his boots at this point, just has a blink dagger picked up. And probably tanky enough to, he's surviving getting jumped on by the axe. He's got enough health kind of relative to his damage output that he's not just dying immediately. And Tidehunter's managed to farm a refresher orb of his own now.
Oh, he's got the real thing.
Yep. Except no imitations. Well, I guess this game just comes down to the next Roche. There's not a whole lot of buybacks available since Wildcard have been throwing them out just to try and...
I just did the maths, and yeah, there's a reason he's got 3 enchanted mangoes on him at 4 minutes.
Oh yeah, it's actually even worse than the shard, right? Because it's 350 versus 200, so... Yeah, the mangoes are going to be important. Hope you don't have to use your Yules.
This man has one button bound at the moment. It is the Ravage.
See the Lina right on top of him.
Yeah, the jumping loose right now. He does assemble the Aeon Disc, but is it going to be enough to keep him alive? Abyssal Blade comes through and they take down the Lina. Ravage comes through though. They're looking for the counter initiation, but the BKB does come out in time for the Ursa, but is it going to matter as Natsumi just taking chunks from him right now? And here comes a song from the Lina. They're going to focus down the tombstone, and Yves TPing away from this. They want out of this fight, Wildcard.
The Vailama lives. He escaped on the top side of the fight. He got the blink off into the trees, and Xavius, unfortunately, the stun was just a little short. He had the right idea. But they get the Lina buyback without being forced to use anything really other than the song.
Wildcard do need to make their way back over to this part of the map though, because Roshan is respawning in just 13 seconds.
Look at this again. So he had the Aeon Disc, he disassembles it, he keeps himself out of dunk range. So Axe actually kind of whiffs the cooldown, but the team is just not close enough. So
yeah, they just came in too slow.
Yeah, and you can watch the Vailama just escape off the top of the screen here. Xavius is on him, but deals with the zombies, survives on a sliver of HP, and gets the blink.
Wow, that was so close.
And he doesn't have buyback
in this game so close.
So if he's dead, he's not going to be alive for this Roshan fight. Another Andis getting popped. Horse way up there.
Yeah, a lot of that are happening, and actually this Undying, he's just gone. Chance of surviving through that one. Xavius looking over towards Salmon Boy's just on the high ground here. What is Nagasaran?
Yep.
What a chat.
Yeah. Okay, well they deal with both tombstones. There is still a buyback for Force. Sam scouting. He could just cover this with the song if he wanted to, but they might not even need to. It's dropping so damn quickly.
Yep, there it is. Roshan dies. He picks up an Aegis and a refresher shot on alone as well. Ags also going down, and Xavier's running into this one. I'm not sure that's a play, my friend. Full stuff way up to the high ground, but the teddy bear is here, and it mauls him good and proper as the axe comes flying through. Doesn't quite connect. God, I absolutely love how they have no animation when they're in the air when Snapfire fires them, so you just have like a T-posing axe closing the distance on you.
I wish it was a full T-pose and not just like their default stance. That'd be great.
That'd be great.
Okay, well, we took a little detour, but if you stopped watching for 20 minutes, you might think that we're still just exactly where we were with Wildcard in control of this game.
Yeah, here we go. Once again, shredding the buildings. Buyback comes out from the next assassin. You know what? Wildcard respect it. They'll get themselves off the high ground, but are they giving up the siege altogether? I'm not sure about that. They do need the creep wave though, which is pretty far away from them.
Right, more save for Alex. He's got an E-Blade picked up. The double Ravage is off cooldown for AU. He was just waiting for the refresher orb. He's ditched the Mango plan, and now he's going for a Null Talisman. That might be good enough. That's 6. Yeah, okay. It looks like it. It looks like it's okay.
Yeah, just about. Could afford to cast an Ankh Smash or something as well. Maybe a Gush if he's feeling fruity. But certainly not both. One or the other. Nyx Assassin going for this right now. Oh my god, they actually catch out the Troll Warlord who's just blinking to try to help out. Refresh roll from Lava as well as they take down Natsumi. He does have a buyback here, but is it gonna matter? Force, he's gonna be the... But that is gonna do nothing to keep him alive. Buyback as well from the Undying, but Polaris, they have to be running low on resources by now. AU waiting by the sidelines here.
One Ravage is all that they've got.
Feels like it's not enough. Mega creeps have been gained, and now Wildcard looking for the win. They'll throw in a creep. Goes down on the sidelines. Loach, Yves on top of him. There comes the Aeon Disc though, keeping him alive as Yves kind of fighting into Force here. Force, another Aeon Disc coming out, but they get the call out onto the Lina. Lina dead, no buyback. They'll move across now to AU as as well. Natsumi trying to fight up into alone. They're going to actually change the aggro across the top by Lama as another call comes through. Natsumi will lose his second life, and that will be it. GG gets called, and Wildcard take game number 1 in this lower bracket best of 3 series against Polaris.
The pause 5 Naga Siren, the axe just making the game impossible for these squishy cores on Polaris. Okay, Wildcard, you know, they're going to discuss the game.
team ban. Left now. Oh, dire team ban. Woo, Radiant team ban. Come on, dire team, pick it good. Radiant team pick. Come on, Radiant team, you gotta pick them right. Go, dire.
Lena.
Thus far, I do worry a little bit about, there's already this Marcy, so there's already some ganking potential and a hero to get on top of the Lena. We've seen how scary even just a support Marcy can be for some of these squishier cores. And I was wondering if Wildcard might consider going for like their Visage or something like that, but just gonna go for the Morphling.
Dire team ban.
Sure, why not? Very nice combo with a Marcy. They do each other a lot of favors, especially the sidekick early on to heal you up when you're full agi. Very, very efficient.
You really gotta
Yeah, definitely nice. They have some pretty straightforward Roshan here without really having to commit, too many picks to it. It's kind of incidental that they've got this sort of free Rosh.
Radiant team
I'm just trying to have a quick look at who's actually played the Marcy for them. I think it might only be Alex. It was a huge part of their regional run. I played 7 games of it. I think he's only managed to get it once here in the last chance qualifiers, but that was a win. So probably just expecting to see the pause 4 and Wildcard being in this this first pick position are going to be able to get rid of the AA after snagging the morph. For anybody out there who's curious, it was Polaris's priority this game, I believe, and they chose second pick, and Wildcard took Dire.
Right.
I'm always the guy in the out there watching the stream, be like, "But what was the coin flip? What was the pick priority?" So, to the 1% of people that are interested, that's how it went down.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth in there, but we don't have the time of day, and we'd also probably lose like half the people watching if we decided to.
No, this is just
if you got into that, so no base skip. You're not allowed to talk about that. Let's talk about this line pick instead.
It's burst against the Morphling. In theory, it's some lockdown as well. This hero has, I thought it was pretty dead in terms of pub stats. It's been one of the absolute worst supports, but kind of coming back a little bit here in the last chance qualifiers. Could be okay. I guess we'll just have to see. I think a lot of it comes back to Polaris just identifying like the thing that we really didn't like about our draft last game was we didn't have somebody to start these fights easily. We were relying
You better pick your hero. 5 seconds.
on that with a Blink Hex or Blink Earth Spike.
Radiant team
Yeah,
pick.
definitely. I said it last time, say it again. Having a bit of throwaway initiation seems to be such a bonus at the moment in all of these games. Just having someone who can go in, get some stuns off. Maybe you miss them. Maybe that person dies. Who cares? It's a lion.
Man, I'm shocked that they managed to get the Visage all the way into second phase when they've already got the Marcy. We've seen this combo look pretty crazy. Certainly gives them a lot of push potential, a lot of Rosh. Wildcard seem pretty happy about it. They're like, yeah, sure, we'll take the Visage if you'll let us have it this late. And Polaris, what do they feel addresses both the Morphling and the Visage in terms of these carry matchups? As well here, like just kind of they're not great at dealing with the illusions on Wildcard. That the Naga versus Morphling, I think they just kind of play past each other. It's not really that one of them is like a super strong counter to the other, but the matchup is certainly for the Naga. I think the win edge is slightly in her favor, and it is something that Natsumi plays, I believe. So certainly an option, but if they want it, maybe they have to take it now.
Yeah, also a possibility to just go back for the Terrorblade as well, something which probably the closest thing you get to a consistent pick for the side of Polaris is the Terrorblade.
Yeah, I'm just looking at what else they've been playing, right? We've had some Natsumi Pudge, but that's been banned. Bloodseeker doesn't look great. Yeah, of the things that he's played, to me, the Naga stands out. Maybe the Nature's Prophet, if they feel like there's some way to play this one super fast. But then you are kind of putting yourself in this position again where your two big cores are just, squishy, and they're just gonna potentially get jumped on as they go back for the Tide again. And kind of the same situation here where it's, I guess, a flex.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm in love with it.
Yeah, I don't know that I like the Tidehunter that much here.
10 seconds to pick your hero.
Wildcard are again gonna have some of these like escapes and saves, ways to kind of kite around the team fight a little bit. I get the idea of like parking your watermelon in front of this Visage, trying to push your towers and slowing things down. Wildcard don't have a reliable way to kill him without him getting off the Ravage, but is that going to matter? They're going to have a meaningfully good matchup against the Morphling and the Visage for that kind of delaying the game and playing for team fight to matter, it feels like here.
Yeah, you're asking a lot from this final pick for Polaris here, I feel like.
Yeah, they do have the last overall pick of the draft. I don't know what else is on the card. So the Drow we've been seeing as like an attempted counter against the Morph. I don't know that it's necessarily look like a hard counter, but the idea is certainly there. You pump out a bunch of damage, you don't care about his armor. The silence is annoying as well. It then goes back to like looking at the other heroes that are around each of them, and the fact that the Morphling Ags is gonna steal onto your Agi and make you sad. And if the Morphling isn't pressured, or if he's got too much net worth, he can maybe just wait for it on top of you. But shouldn't talk about a matchup too much that we're not even going to be seeing. And they do ban the Faceless Void. Okay, so I mean, it's something that Polaris have played a lot of, but in theory, the Morphling's a good matchup there, and maybe Wildcard anticipating that like the TB or the Naga is going to be the thought for Polaris, so just going to kind of pre-counter pick with the Zeus. This is an annoying hero for the Tidehunter to play against as well.
Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero.
Like he can die super fast.
You better pick your hero.
I'm gonna have my eyes in this middle lane again, because last game, it was a bit of a beatdown, and this was one of Polaris's core picks. The Lina mid is something which they kind of rely on quite a lot to give them some consistency, and it got wrecked. So they're gonna go for the Slark as the final pick up here on the side of Polaris. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's good against the Morphling. You can just steal a whole bunch of stats off of him. Hero can't buy shotgun anymore, so you're not gonna get popped. We did see it struggle a little bit against the Zeus. That was the VP versus Extreme match on the first day of groups, where the Ramses Slark was like, he didn't buy a BKB until really late, and it turned out that if Zeus had a whole bunch of farm, like getting pumped by 4 lightning bolts every fight was pretty scary. They did end up winning that one, but I do think they've kind of got the tools to deal with the Slark here. I'm a little bit worried about his laning stage as well. He does have the Undying to help him out, so.
Yeah, I feel like this Visage Marcy lane though.
Yeah,
it's a difficult
scary
one to lane into, and you've picked a pretty weak laner into it as well. I'm very concerned for Polaris' laning phase.
Yeah. So what? It's Lion Tide against not terrible. Maybe Lion has to be a little bit careful with his positioning. And then yeah, Marcy Visage against Slark Undying. Undying's a strong laner, but the Slark's not really contributing. So
yeah, I mean, to me, I'm just like, can the Undying stop the Slark getting run over? And I don't know if he can. You know, it's a hero without disables, so I'm a little bit worried in that regard. But we'll find out how this one's going to go as we get into game number 2 of Wildcard versus Polaris here in the lower bracket of the last chance qualifier. If Polaris lose this game, they are done for TI11, full stop. Their season ends here. If they can win it, we equalize, we go to a game 3. Which way is it going to go? Well, we're about to find out. Polaris has smoked up, but not really looking for anything serious.
They started out as like I think a tentative dark horse for some people, right? Anyone who's been watching the SEA region, and then coming in during the group stage, Polaris looking good. I think a lot of people were enjoying watching them play, and yeah, here they stand against Wildcard on the brink of elimination. But like we said in the preamble, you know, Wildcard, they ended up in the lower bracket, but they certainly have not been slouches this event, even putting paid to some of the top teams. So
yeah, for sure. But Polaris as well, so like such a formidable opponent. Like, these guys have taken games off some of the best.
Yep, they certainly have, and we will just have to see how this one plays out. As okay, I mean, Sam manages to sneak in here and secure the only bounty rune that Wildcard are gonna get. Not feeling very confident about their heroes at level 1, which I think is fair. They do have a Zeus and a Morphling, who are not renowned for their abilities to fight the runes. But
that's a gentle way to put it.
Yeah. Morphling hero is one that we often see just people diving him underneath his own tier 1 tower at level 1 because they know that he's a glorified range creep to start.
Yeah, he's a puddle.
Yeah, but he will become stronger as the game goes on.
But again, I'm so interested to see how this middle lane goes down, because after all, we did see Alone getting a huge advantage over Lurch early on in the game last time around. So, you know, this time you're playing the Zeus, not quite the same kind of run over hero. Doesn't have the snowball potential that a Shadow Fiend has, but
he's getting punched on a little bit here. I think he's okay, but
yeah. He as well getting tapped down pretty hard by Davai and Alex down bottom. As up at top, Xavius and Sam trading some heavy hits here. Both of them getting very, very low.
And neither one of them has a salve. And Sam didn't manage to get his small camp to spawn. That's what Xavius was busy fighting over.
Yeah, oh gosh, that's going to reduce his armor as well, but Xavius doesn't want to come too close with the Morphling moving over as well, so yeah, well, no one going down just yet, but getting very, very close to doing so. And Xavius moving around, actually finding the Morphling's career. That's going to be a nice little pick off from him.
He really wants to spot the other. Okay, so Xavius gets the camp blocked, but the big camp is going to remain blocked as well. So nothing doing there. So I don't think this mid lane matchup is supposed to be good for the Zeus, and so far it's not turning out that way. The 10-3 against the 6-2, the Lina can definitely bully him a whole lot, and all he can really do is just kind of sit back and grab whatever CS arrives. Maybe hoping for a couple of bottle refills or a gank coming in from the Marcy to turn the tides. But I think this will be a very different look for Lelouch this game compared to game 1.
Yeah, he's going to have much more to work with in the early game. We'll see what he's able to do on this Lina in terms of buying his team some space and some dominance in the early game, controlling the game up a little bit.
Pressure on Sam. He's almost brought down by the auto attack. That's going to be first blood.
And he's getting on top of Xavius though, looking for the return kill. I'm not sure he can keep up though. And with a Fairy Fire in the south, the line's going to be absolutely fine. So it's a tradeless kill.
Yeah, and he gets to just sit here and block the small camp one more time. So very annoying. This lane position has been super far up for Wildcard this entire time. The Tide is getting a ton of experience.
Natsumi jumping onto Davai Lama here, but they don't quite have enough damage to bring him down. But Yeah, the early point in Soul Rip almost gets the jump onto Dalai Lama. I don't think they were ready for that.
Well, it seems like we kind of answered our question about this bottom lane. The Slark seems to be doing absolutely fine. The Undying running interference. And Xavius is trying to make a rotation at mid. This is a little unexpected. But...
I mean, with the creeps under the tower, they could do it.
Is Alex dead? No, he's not dead. Where's this kill?
Alone. Oh, no, they don't quite connect. Heavenly jump gets him to safety. And the line will be left wanting.
Stressful. Morphling not CSing all that well at top, only kind of tied up with the Tide Hunter. Alone trying to man up on the Lucian. He doesn't have any mana, but he does have Alex rotating in. But the Undying is also here.
Yeah, let's see. Stun does connect, but Loach just pounding damage into Alone here. Fairy Fire gets used with the damage they've got. Loach will go down, so Alone gets away. AU's still chasing, but I don't think he's going to be able to close the gap. Under the tower he goes. AU, this is very aggressive. There's a cookie across from Sam, and with the Scatter Blast as well, they're able to just kill him off.
Okay, that was that was a little bit closer comfort. I thought the Undying was going to get that auto attack off, but calculated from Alone. I think that Alex may have even mangoed the Zeus in the middle of that. I'm gonna check the combat log. Pray for me that my game doesn't crash.
Go diving into the combat log in the cast. You're a brave man.
Okay, it's not loading anything. Well, I tried.
An attempt was made.
Yeah.
Top lane, Sam being hexed up here a little bit. Force and Xavius looking like they'll be able to get that kill with a right click from the Tide Hunter. Taking a step too far forward on the Snapfire.
Yeah, this top lane's a bit of a disaster for Wildcard, and Tide Hunter kind of getting away with murder. He's got the Soul Ring and the Ring of Health already, so he can kind of play like Davai Lama played in the last game, just Dragon Waves.
And we see the replay here of this tower jump again as he got so close to touching him, and then Alone just comes in again. My god. It's a risky move, but pays off in the end.
Super important for Zeus's game, and as we saw, and it's still the case, the CS battle is not going to be a win against the Lina, but getting these kills is going to help keep him even on the experience.
Yeah, anything you can pick up
Davai Lama at bottom,
really valuable.
It's gone on a little bit, but he's okay.
Yeah, so Visage Master Lane not really doing a whole lot early on in the game, but of course when you hit that level 6 on the Visage, that's when that makes all the difference, and that's why Alex is moving around the map so much. He just wants to give Visage as much free XP as possible, but Dalai Lama is taking a hell of a beating down here in the bottom lane with his support being away.
Yeah, lots of attention towards mid. Alone does have this ultimate that he's keen to use.
Yeah, but that's going to be a tricky jump from Alex there. Oh dear, now he gets stunned up. LSA coming down as well. And, well, Alone actually jumping up the high ground here. That is aggressive. Doesn't have the mana for the Thunder God's Wrath here, so won't be able to bring either of them down.
Oh, man. They're both so low. Just doesn't have the mana. Where's the mangoes this time?
My kingdom for a mango.
Yeah, worrying for the wildcard supports. They're not really getting levels. You know, Sam's off just trying to block some camps and try and give everything to the Morphling. Lelouch gets jumped and just TP's out at mid.
Bye.
Yeah, huge pressure from Alex, but I don't think it's hurting Lina too much. It is slowing down his role on the net worth, but the side lanes are just huge wins.
Yeah, that's who is hurting the most. Davai Lama is just getting absolutely destroyed. Every time he tries to go for creeps, let's just hear his opponent, but looking like they might be able to grab at you here. Thunder God's Wrath comes through just to secure the kill. You know, wasn't looking 100% that one, so gotta make sure.
It would have been really nice to get something other than the position 5, but Alone's just gonna have to take what he can get. And the acceleration into the mana items to keep him farming. It's gonna be a big deal.
Yeah, so he's doing okay. Alone is doing okay. Davai Lama though, Really not having a good time, but again, another jump in the middle lane here. Alone's got to be careful though, as Lurch gets off a ton of damage. Nice cookie onto 3. They can not finish off Lurch as he gets back up to the high ground though. They'll turn their attention towards AO instead, and the Undying will be falling eventually. It takes a bit of time, but they'll rip through the tanky boy eventually. And down the bottom, once again, Natsumi just not letting Navalama anywhere near this creep wave.
Yeah, this is really tough. Not having the 6, not having the supports really help you. Maybe Alone can pay back some of this a little later on, especially as they've secured this regen. And he's going to get some pretty good farm. But yeah, Devilama's going to need the supports to come play with him eventually. They can't just leave him on an island like this permanently. Especially with the slug free farming.
Warrior just got killed.
Yep. Bird needs friends, but well, with the wave under tower, actually, this should be a 6 soon. Maybe one more wave, they'll get level 6, and then it's an entirely different game. But yeah, it's been a bit of a brutal journey to get there.
The concerning thing for me in terms of Wildcard right now is that they don't really have a great way to come and take this bottom tier 1 tower. And if the current state of affairs goes on for too long, I think eventually Polaris can take the Dire Tower, and then they can just park their Tidehunter at bottom.
Ooh, Alex trying to make the little jump there onto Natsumi, using the birds already. The moment those birds are up, Alex returns to the bottom lane, and yeah, suddenly he's all interested in being friends with the village again.
Yeah, he may have given away his ward a little bit there, Natsumi, but still certainly worth it just to keep on farming.
Polaris moving 2 heroes down to the bottom lane under the cover of smoke. If they can catch out Davalama right now, they will make his game very, very miserable. Miserable, I guess. And now he sees AU. Davalama is actually starting off with a couple of hits onto AU here, but they're looking to try and bring down the birds, but they're able to get out the donk on one of them, but the other one is going to die. Davalama takes down the 2. Oh, it actually gets denied by Xavius. Very nicely done.
Alone's down here with the Thunder God's Wrath again.
Yep. Sees Xavius, sees Natsumi. Natsumi still has the Shadow Dance. A very tricky target to bring down. Natsumi knows there's something wrong here.
Yeah, he's just he's really confusing Natsumi with this. It's like, oh god, it's warded, and it's still warded here, and it's still warded
and there's
here.
A ward up here.
Yeah.
Well, I don't need to think about any of this. I'm just gonna get some creeps. They're too confusing. But no, I'm sure they've pieced it together. That's why Xavier's sticking around. Zeus will return forlornly to the middle lane. Alas, 'twas not a kill. Top lane, Eve's kind of forcing the tower. It's tier 1 tower in the top lane. It's taken a ton of damage from the Tidehunter.
Dire's top tower's under attack.
Goodness gracious.
Radiant just
Yeah, Force is #1 on net worth. And he's gonna get this by himself eventually. Alush even rotating up to help out. Do you have the level 6 on Sam, and he's just gonna unleash.
He's going for it right now. Lush taking some heavy hits, turns around to get up a couple of spells, but they'll be able to bring him down. Hughes catches him out with the adaptive strike, and now starts unleashing onto Force. Ravage is there, though, on top of Alone, and with the stuns they've got available, they will be able to bring down this Zeus, so he's just going to back away. Not much he can do now as the Tidehunter returns to this lane. Force, absolute control over this top side of the map. No one's going to contest him for that.
This is what I was talking about. The Tidehunter's in the position where he can now just TP down bottom and be the guardian of this tier 1 tower. And not going to be easy for Wildcard to punch through this. 3 points Kraken Shell. Tidehunter does not care about your birds. You can take them somewhere else. Come back when you're level 12.
Those little rascals are hitting Dire's bottom tower.
Yep, need some more bird power and need some more points in the sidekick as well to really buff them up and make them a threat. But of course, you're the rebound first. That spell's just too damn good to ignore.
So one thing we haven't talked about, and I guess we haven't even really seen just yet from Lelouch, is whether he's going to consider going for the magic build this game. It's been pretty popular against the Morphling, especially. He's a bit non-committal so far. He's just got a Falcon Blade and he's going for BKB, so could still go either way as the game progresses, maybe seeing how his Slark's timings are progressing. Trying to line things up with Natsumi, who's just going for a defusal.
Yep, makes sense. Always nice to try and align it. Going for the BKB. That's the very early pickup.
I do think that they could go toe-to-toe with Wildcard in the late game here, but I also don't know if that's Polaris' style. I think they'd prefer to just be the ones actively controlling the map, actively taking the... Hard to see them grouping up. Probably sooner rather than later, especially with the level of farm that Force is getting. Already got a Blink Dagger. It feels like it's been a very long laning stage. It feels like the lanes are still going 13 minutes into this one.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. You know, last game I asked you at what point in the game we're going to start to see them moving around, what timings we're waiting for, but it honestly feels like Lena's waiting for a BKB before she really makes many moves on the map. She doesn't want to end up getting jumped and brought down too quickly by the Marcy. It's such a threat of a hero.
Yeah, I mean, Alex was able to just get get the Undying to pop his Tombstone and his ulti, and then just hopped on out of there. Did trade it for the Unleash, but he's drawing attention towards top while the rest of his team is off farming. Though this is like about the best position that they can get on the map. Again, how do you ever unseat this Tide Hunter from bottom? He's a real barnacle.
He is. Yeah, having a great time. Just being sticky, being annoying, and slowing down the game a ridiculous amount. So Wildcard not really getting in line, but at the same time, you know, they're kind of fine with that as well. It is going to be a while before we see them make a move. So in the top lane, Alex able to get the jump away from the Slark. Doesn't quite connect with that pounce. Alex will be all right.
Yeah, I don't think Divine Llama is that unhappy about sitting here farming across from the Tide. He would be unhappy about getting hit by this smoke gank, but he has kind of randomly avoided it. Maybe not.
No, unfortunately not. Xavius and Loach right on top of him. Lagoon Blade coming on down, and the right click will finish the job. And that'll be Loach getting himself another kill here on the Luna.
Sam's got another ultimate that he's keen to use. Maybe they can kill the Tide with Zeus damage and like a full Mortimer Kisses, but...
Yeah, Davai Lama might be dead, but his birds can still do a lot of stunning for him. Probably not the Tide Hunter though.
It's farm stations for both teams currently. we're chilling. Maybe the stalemate will break once the BKB comes out on the Lina or something. But... Yeah. Well,
Natsumi's gone for the Diffusal Blade, then into the Aghanim, so that's going to give him the flexibility when it comes to these fights, getting in deep and then getting out again. Very, very powerful Ags, in my opinion.
This is why you don't let your cores place wards. So Natsumi just put that one right on top of a existing sentry, so that one got dealt with pretty easily. He wanted to put a ward down for himself to to keep on playing on this top side, since his team does not have any plans on coming and joining him up here for a bit. But...
No.
Ooh.
But they managed to get the pick off there onto Xavius down in the bottom lane, but Natsumi trying to get a bit of revenge here and moving on to Davai Lama. No help coming in for Davai, but also not really into much threat at all, to be honest. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, a bit of a siege coming out from Polaris. They've dropped the Tombstone even to make sure they get this tower, and again, Wildcard just don't really feel like they can contest it. A very, very passive game from Wildcard this time around.
There's not a whole lot that they can do. Even the Slark is strong enough to just hold off bottom currently, so Polaris getting that for free. Divai even lost one of his birds, so he's now got another 90 seconds to wait before he gets the second one up. And he might not even want to use it right away, because he's getting pretty close to level 12. And you do have to resummon the birds to get the updated stats.
Xavius jumping in, using that Tumbler's Toy to close in the gap. Natsumi on top of him as well. Force coming over from round the back. Everyone suddenly here onto this position. No help coming his way. He is just dead.
They're trying a top. Get a little bit of a jump, but the Lena's waiting there.
She's going to be able to at least get them one return. No,
the smoke. He popped the smoke and disjointed the tower shot that saved him.
All right. Okay.
It's expensive, but sure, go for it.
Yeah, values his life very highly. Respect it. You're king.
That was nice. Okay, well, they suspected that might happen, but they didn't get the turnaround, unfortunately. All right, back to farm stations. Everybody chill out.
All right, let's look at some more items. Does he have his expert? No, he doesn't. Still running around mono-birded. It's very embarrassing. I'd rather have no birds than one bird. Just looks silly when you've already got one bird. Oh. A bit of stuff didn't throw
He's got
one
one
line
frog
here.
now. How about that?
Alright, that'll do.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he really just wants to get the level 12 before he hits the resummon. We got a pipe on the Tidehunter as well. Surely we have to be approaching some kind of go time. Maybe you want the Ags on the Slark. That does tend to be the timing when we start seeing the Slarks actually getting active and get in and then get back out of the team fight.
Yeah, for sure. That's a big time for him. The Tidehunter as well. He's got the Blink Dagger in the pipe, so he's ready to go. Wants to join this engagement. Sammy Boy has been seen, as has Davai Lama here. Ravage ready to go as well. Should he want to use it? In it comes. Both heroes locked down as they'll move their attention towards the Visage, and Davai Lama will get dropped. Finger comes through, and now they look towards Sammy as well. Cookie comes through, but it's not going to be enough to save him. Caught by the stun, and the damage is there from the Tide. Natsumi grabs that kill.
Well, they might at least get an objective trade. No, Lelouch is still going to be able to hold on to mid. Polaris being really clinical with these rotations. Just they're not giving up an inch on the map. Wildcard's lineup's a little bit too greedy for them to get away with some of this. The Morphling has farmed his way back into the #1 spot on the net worth, so Eve's once again making sticking the landing, making the recovery.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't think the game is looking not great for Wildcard, but not awful either. Like, this can still go to plan. This is bad. This is really bad. Sammy catching him out there, right?
Yeah, Sam tried to cookie on top of him. He managed to pounce that, and then after that, he just got popped by all the spells.
Oh, hey, Force. How's it going, buddy? This Titan can pretty much just walk anywhere he feels like walking on the map at the moment, so...
Double damage.
Yeah.
We are seeing a bit of why Polaris were willing to leave this Visage so late in the draft. It does feel like they've dealt with it pretty effectively.
Yeah, it does.
Wildcard haven't really been able to... it hasn't been the heart and soul of the draft, right? Davai Lama's just gonna have to do what he can, and it's about Alone and Eves now.
Yeah. And to be fair, they kind of just ditched Davai Lama very early on. Alex went to help out mid and just kind of mostly sat at mid for most of the game, the lane phase, so Davai Lama not having much of a start to the game, but Polaris now inside the pit. Wildcard, is there anything they can do about this? Is there anything they want to do about this? I don't think so.
This is the exact play that got them into trouble in the previous game, but it's a very different set of circumstances this time around. There's no Davai Lama axe or anything like that,
yes.
so...
That's pretty crucial.
Yeah, we have had the question answered about what the build is going to be for the Lina. It does look like he's still just planning on going for a predominantly right-click focused build. So I think Morphling going to be happier about that. Doesn't have to worry so much about just getting absolutely demolished by the spell damage. And Eve's no BKB just yet is actually trying to pick up the Ags first, so try and grab onto that Slark form in the fights and maybe go looking for the supports in the backline, something like that.
Yeah, very valuable to steal that Slark form and apply the debuff to him.
Yeah, apply the debuff. You don't necessarily want to go fighting the Slark himself, but just kind of play like him in the back of the fight. Xavius, you got to blink. Yeah, he's fine.
Ooh, sad.
He's fine.
Got his smoke popped. That's unfortunate. Alone sees Natsumi, but Natsumi leaping away with that Aghanims and getting himself to safety. The gank unfortunately failing for the side of Wildcard as Polaris still holding on to that middle tier 1 tower.
Very slow, very methodical. Polaris, it's got to be in the back of their minds that, that any mistakes here, that's going to be the end of their last chance qualifier run. So no reason to do anything too risky. As they're kind of pincering here at bottom. Might just be Alex going down.
Actually moving into the triangle here, so not moving in Alex's direction. In fact, moving in towards no one's direction, really. Maybe they can connect with mid where Eves is, but Eves is kind of directly moving away from them at the moment, so I'm definitely not going to connect with this smoke. But still, you know, vision placed down. A very nice deep ward placed there by E if you see it next to the tier 2 tower in the middle lane, suggesting that is going to be the next objective.
Yeah, Wildcard seemed to have some kind of idea that there might be something here playing on this side.
Alex jumping in, but blink away.
He's got a BKB, so he can't afford to be a little bit crazier, though could end up being punished by this blink on the line, which they have seen, so they at least know what they're dealing with on that front. And I think we got both of our Ags up, so maybe the carries are looking to fight now. I think Natsumi's seen the Ags, so he's also just going to be going for a Linken's. I think we saw this in the VP Extreme series as well, and on the one hand I get it, on the other hand you're playing against Soul Assumption, Arc Lightning, like Adaptive Strike.
Yeah.
Is this really going to do for you what you
is it worth 4,200 gold basically? Is that how much it costs them? 4,600 gold, yeah. Is it worth that much to block maybe one soul something, you know, like...
Yeah, and like most of the stuns are AoE as well, right? It's it's rebound, it's familiar stuns, it's the cookie. I don't know that he's truly safe in the Shadow Dance. He's playing as if he is, but I don't know if this is the item. We'll see. He hasn't bought anything just yet. Could still end up changing his mind.
Yeah, I'd quite like to see a Mage Slayer, honestly, or something like that. You know, just get on top of the Zeus in the back lines and try and punish that. As Alex does jump in on this one, popping the BKB. They want to try and take down Force, or at least force a Ravage out of him. Alex moving up to the high underground and seeing everybody here and thinks, oh, maybe I don't want to be here anymore. Tries to run away as Alex comes out onto Sammy Boy. Sammy Boy getting beaten down by Natsumi. That'll be the first blood of this fight. Wildcard getting themselves back. They don't really want to take this fight to Polaris too harshly. Polaris have already taken down their pods 5, and I think they might just have to give up the tier 2 tower in the end. Davai Lama trying to get a bit of counter push going. Oh, Natsumi finding another kill here. Alex in the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah, they are making this a trade in the meantime, but Natsumi's trying to come down and punish Davai Lama.
Yeah, he's going to find him. TP out. Will have to pounce though, so he's able to cancel that one with ease. And now with Davies coming across as well, Davai Lama is going to fall. Natsumi just chaining up 3 kills in a row here.
They're not even backing off at mid. There's only 2 heroes alive.
Ravage coming down. Luge getting on top of the Morphing. Morphing doesn't have the strength. Morph going. He's gone as well. Polaris turning up the heat here in game number 2. And Wildcard is just not ready for it.
Man. It looked okay. It's like, oh, we only lost the Snapfire in that little engagement that we went for previously, and then oh, it's another pick, and it's another pick, and it's another 2 more picks, and suddenly Polaris just completely in control of the map.
Ooh,
damage.
Alone.
Oh, he's gonna kill
oh, no,
Luge.
he's able to
Okay.
find Luge. Where was your BKB? Where's the Aegis? Well, he had so much to survive through that. Middle lane, Snapfire trying to get away from Natsumi. Natsumi's going to be able to bring him down, or at least Xavier's getting the kill. Alone's nearby, though, looking for the opportunity to get in on this, but it's kind of difficult at the time. So the Aegis had just run out.
Yeah, it was just getting reclaimed at that exact moment, and Alone just jammed that kill.
Why no BKB? I'm very confused.
Yeah, I guess he thought that he could just scooch away in the under invis. But
Let's get a scooch on out of here if that's alright with you guys. Alone trying to get this kill onto the line. Not sure this is worth it though. He's very low mana on the Zeus. Alright. Wildcard bringing in the cavalry, but Forces being the one broken down here. Alex pops a BKB once again to try and take down this Tidehunter, and they'll be able to do exactly that. So, pretty big target brought down, honestly. Wildcard, they're the ones able to get a couple of pickoffs now.
And I thought Alone, with the build that he was going, that like an Ags or whatever the next item was going to be insanely slow, but he's now just gotten 2 massive core kills back to back, and suddenly he has 3,000 gold. So, to me, in that other series where we talked about the Zeus versus the Slark, the Ags was absolutely instrumental. So
yes, it really was. And he got almost 1,000 gold for killing a Loach, by the way. Didn't touch on that, but that is ridiculous.
Well, this whole series does feel like it's been a little bit one step forward, two steps back for the winning team in each case, and still anyone's game. Really, does not feel like there's a super significant advantage one way or the other. The fights are super volatile, as we've seen. Whoever gets the jump is really going to be all important. And Sam, to that end, again, going to be picking up a gem, just try and keep control of the high grounds, get the D wards. A couple of stray observer wards surviving did almost cost them that previous game.
Yeah, it's there's been a little bit of allowing some vision to happen when it shouldn't be. Yeah, bit risky.
Yeah, a little bit.
Wildcard. Oh, they see Force here. They'll throw the Ethereal Blade on him straight away, but Natsumi trying to get on top of the Zeus. Zeus needs to get away from the Slark and will be able to do so. In fact, he's popped the Shadow Dance very, very early here. I wonder if they can follow up from this. There comes the Ravage on the front lines, but not really connecting onto many heroes here. As Xavier's will go down. Force as well going to fall as Yves getting on top of Lelouch here, but Natsumi's on top of him. 2 calls on 1. How does this work out for you? You need your Zeus, you need it fast, and he'll come from the side and take out Lelouch. Now they'll go towards Natsumi as well. Natsumi backing himself away, wants to give himself a chance to regen, then come back in on this one, but Ayu might be dead by the time that happens. He'll only be able to keep himself alive. There will be a soul rip, but with the soul assumptions and the damage from the Zeus, they will bring him down. But Natsumi jumping in on this, he's got to be careful. He'll blink himself back up to the high ground, pounce away, and Wildcard, they get the advantage in this fight once again.
Radiant's middle towers.
Natsumi just can't stand and hit. He used both pounces to get in, then the Force Staff came out from Sam, kept Alone alive, and once you press the BKBs and the Zeus hasn't died, the team fight's going to get very, very difficult at the other end. This is Xavier's buying back into the game as well.
Yeah, hasn't really gotten much done with this, and actually pouncing away from Roshan and now pasting back alone. Is this the play you want to make, my friend? It's certainly not. He's got the Aeon Disc and he's going to assemble it to try and get away from Natsumi. Natsumi giving it a real hard chase right now. Davai Lama even going with the blocks. Wow, that was pretty impressive for him to block a Shadow Dance Slark, who then bounces himself away. There's some high octane shit coming out from Natsumi.
Yeah, so Alone, after the way that previous fight went, just deciding that he absolutely had to pick up the Aeon Disc instead of trying to grab the Ags. Worked out perfectly for him there. He was about to be one more permanent Agi for the Slark. I still want to harp on the Lincolns a little bit. I don't know if it's doing a whole heck of a lot. What's he gone for next? Just a basher? Oh no, he's just got the shard. Okay.
Yeah, I'd get that nice little depth shroud.
Getting a little afraid of this Marcy. There was a moment there in that last fight, you know, Alex jumped in on top of the Tide and then suddenly saw the Lina in his sights, and there was a little string of punches and Lina suddenly lost a third of her HP. And once he gets the basher, the Lina might not make it away so easily next time.
Dire's top tower's under attack.
I am loving the way Natsumi's playing this Slark, even though it's a bit haphazard, it's a bit dangerous, but it's very, very enjoyable to watch. Lelouch quick on the BKB. They're punishing Alex for the jump in. Won't be able to get the kill though, so to be fair, pretty nice for Alex there to just jump in, get a free BKB and get himself out again.
Yeah, that's really good. And Wildcard just getting more and more tools to deal with this Slark as the game goes on. Davai Lama's got his shard, so he can kind of buy some time for his team to bail him out. Alone, as we've seen, with the Aeon Disc. And Xavier's is just up here all by himself. Lock him down for a second, but he's dead.
Yeah, he's not gonna last. Davai Lama thinks he's gonna sweep in and steal the Killer Soul Assumption, but that's not gonna happen. Zeus taking it for himself. So, hey, what are Polaris waiting for then? What is their time to go and fight? Do they just want to wait for the Aegis to be out completely before they take a fight on their terms?
Yeah, maybe Aegis is out, and I don't know, maybe you have to farm still a BKB on the Slark. The BKB also doesn't solve the problem of actually sticking to these targets. which seems to be where they're really having issues. Maybe Force with the Shivas is going to change that a little bit, but it almost feels like he needs a nullifier.
Yeah, I see what you mean about that.
Yeah, just for the Aeon Disc and the Force Staffs.
Exactly.
But
It does give you decent damage as well, to be fair.
yeah, it just feels like this Lincoln Sphere has just completely killed his item progression. Like, I really don't know. I know I put the Ags on the Zeus, and Wildcard with 2 minutes on the Aegis, so looking towards the high ground.
Yes, he has gone off the strength morph here, but this might be the Aegis just gone. Let's see if he can get away. There is a cookie coming out and a waveform up to the high ground. He's just going to be okay.
I can't deal with the voice line. It's too powerful.
It's a lot. It's a lot. We consider ourselves professionals, adults, but
Yeah,
everyone has a limit.
Everyone was talking about the caster voice lines, but nobody was looking at the team
The
bundles.
Wildcard voice line.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the moment this cast is over, I'm buying it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy 10 and send them to all my friends.
Yeah. They got the tail end of a double damage on this Lina, but I don't think the Polaris have this Aegis timed properly because there's still a minute remaining.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure they're that worried about Aegis time. I think they just want to go and fight. They're actually initiating onto the Morphling, so they want to take down his first life, and they will be able to do so. So, life on the Morphling gone. They didn't have to commit Ravage for it either, but they might not get a chance to. There's a lot of damage coming towards him. Does get off the Ravage, but dies immediately afterwards, along with Natsumi. That is a huge cost to pay. Now they'll look for more. They'll move across to AU as well. The stun from the line will miss, and they will take down another. Polaris just getting way too ambitious with that play.
It looked really great to start, right? They get the Aegis without having to use the Ravage. They're hanging around like, oh boy, we still got Depth Shroud, we still got Shadow Dance, Slark's fine. He just got obliterated. Desperately, I don't want to harp on it too much, but desperately wishing that he had a BKB. Just look at this, he gets E-bladed.
Surely.
Yeah, so here comes the Chainstorm from the Birds. E-Blade, locked down, and then just dies in the end to the Mortimer Kisses.
Yep. Sammy boy getting the double kill.
Sammy making Wildcard making the Snapfire look amazing.
Yeah,
this series.
they've had some serious success with it in these two games. Oh my god, Eves, that's aggressive. Let's get caught out by the LSA, but there's going to be a cookie to get him back. And yeah, I mean, I guess when you're Cores of Maniacs, the cookie feels like a really good spell.
it's very value having this Force Staff and having this Fire Snap cookie.
But, Sammy, I've gone in too deep again. Yeah, okay.
Oopsie.
Alright, so Aegis is now gone on Wildcard. It has finally timed out, so I imagine we'll see Polaris try and make something happen, but I don't know, Natsumi might just want to farm up a BKB at this point. It just feels impossible for him to play the game.
Yeah, I think that last fight has shown him pretty clearly where his priorities need to be. He's got a little bit of time. The Roshan respawn is still at minimum 2 minutes away, so they've got that time. They really need a gem. Xavius realizing it as well. He's got it queued up on the quick buy right now. So, okay, they grab it. Maybe they can start getting a little bit of this ward vision game back. They shouldn't, in theory, they shouldn't be struggling with having the Slark to give them the information, but it's not like it's not long-standing wards that are doing it for Wildcard, right? They're just putting down the opportunistic ward in the middle of the team fight and seeing what they need to see.
Top tower's under attack.
And I wanted to talk about it earlier, but we didn't have a second. But I think some of this is seeing the weakness of the Tidehunter in some ways. Like, he can't take over a game by himself. Force was number one in the net worth. He was absolutely huge, and it just amounted to...
Sumi jumping onto everyone right here. He's got this brand new BKB, which he's keen to show off, but he's still being kited. Can't lock anyone down. Kiss is coming over the top as well. They're on top of the loot. They've got so much damage to throw into him. Alex and Yves tear him apart, move across towards the Tidehunter as well. Natsumi still just bouncing around the back lines of the fight like a ping pong ball, but unfortunately, he's doing about as much damage as a ping pong ball, so he's just going to teep himself away. It's another fight for Wildcard going exactly how they want it to.
The Lina just dies to Marcy. I mean, there was a couple of auto attacks there from the Morphling as well, but for all of Lelouch's net worth and for all of his success on this hero, Wildcard absolutely have his number. And now they're heading up onto the high ground.
Middle Baron. What a joke.
There's just not enough control. The fights aren't lasting long enough for the Slark to be able to get off any of this damage. Like, he's got the items, but he just cannot help. And oh dear.
Radiant bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, well, I don't think they can really do anything. They're absolutely cleaning this up. Alone is even sitting here on the front lines, hitting the buildings.
Go that
We have been in this situation once before, the
Yes,
previous
yeah,
game for Wildcard. So hopefully they are having a little discussion about, okay, what did we goof up last time? Let's make sure that that doesn't happen again. Let's just stay together.
Yeah.
Secure the Aegis.
I'd like to get a look back on that last fight actually and see. Because I mean, the Slark pounces in and then pops a BKB and actually he's managed to get on top of Davai Lama here. He's got a BKB charge available. Gonna use a Depth Shroud for now just to keep on catching a couple of stacks. He's got 11 for now, but will bounce himself away. And he's got that Morph Agility drain on him as well, which is very annoying as well. So.
Yeah, he's just going to be all over the place. They will at least have the Ravage back off cooldown by the time Roshan respawns. But yeah, that last fight, Slark jumped in, he popped BKB, he got kited, he pressed the outpost for a second.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I mean, it wasn't really a big deal.
Here we go.
Yeah, so he jumped in, you know, jump away. Dispose is kind of weird. He popped BKB, tried to cap the outpost, tried to hit the Wraith Pact a little bit.
Yeah.
Puts the Depth Shroud down. It wasn't on top of his Lina. Pops the Aeon Disc. It's just yeah, he's just bouncing around from target to target and not really being able to latch in on top of anyone.
And as tradition, we have a little look at Davai Lama afterwards, just because he's got such a lovely face. Why not? You know.
Got a face for Dota, whatever that means.
Whatever that means. Doesn't sound like a nice thing, but 15k gold advantage for the side of Wildcard right now. They are very, very close to throwing Polaris out of the TI-11 last chance qualifiers, which I would consider an upset. I think Polaris are
yeah, absolutely.
very good team.
Yeah, Polaris have looked great. You know, Wildcard. We talked them up in our long fill beforehand, but I think the conclusion for most people would have been, look, this could go either way, but probably Polaris favored. You know, maybe a Polaris 2-1, and we are staring down the barrel of a Wildcard 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, this next rush could decide everything, but there's just I have no confidence that Natsumi's going to be able to get off his damage in the fight, since the Lion's just going to get taken over trying to go for a bit of a warding adventure. Gets punished for it and leaves in the pit immediately.
Alright, they've got a couple of buybacks.
Yeah, we'll be using the Lion as Natsumi coming and poking a little bit, seeing what there is to see. Polaris, what can you do? What can you pull off? When their backs are against the wall, that is often when they're strongest, but it's a big ask right now, and this Roshan is nearly gone already, and they're just making sure that no one's going to interrupt it. Force coming on over, but it's not going to be soon enough. Aegis into the hands of Eves now, and now they'll look forward for more as they get on top of AU. He's going to full force forced up the high ground, but they're just keeping on chasing. Wildcard showing no signs of giving up as Eves taking the Lion's form to try and bring him down as Alex gets on top of the Tide Hunter and takes him out of the game. 2 heroes dead with buyback, but Wildcard are mounting the offensive right now. All they really need to do is cut one wave at top, and their lanes will be in absolutely great position.
He's getting the Egg's blessing. It's still in Eve's back. Oh, Xavier's on the high ground.
Yep, they'll throw in alone, and he's able to finish off the job. Thank you very much, Sammy boy. Let's move over towards Loach. Ooh, don't quite connect with the stun there.
Natsumi can't even kill Alex. He was chasing around the Marcy in the back lines. Didn't get it.
Loach. With the Satanic, with the Silver Edge, with the BKB, still unable to get off the damage. And get off the kills, they jump in with the Ravage, they're trying to find Alone, but he's got the A on this, so he's just able to jump himself away. Natsumi still staying on top of him for now, popping the BKB as well as he tries to bring down the Zeus. Alone, he is getting very, very low, but Satsumi's going to be able to finish the job, and he will get the kill. Now moving across for more. Eves stealing the Slark form, pouncing himself away, but has got the Aegis to work with, but really doesn't want to use it like this. He's going to get himself into the river and get himself out. It is a successful defense from the side of Polaris. They find the Zeus for the first time in a long time.
I don't know if Wildcard need to spend any buybacks or anything here. I think they can just chill. There's only one Rex remaining. They did manage to get the melee. They've still got the Aegis for 3.5 minutes. It was a nice little passover of the Aghanims during that push to give the Visage the Silent as the Grave. So that made it pretty easy for Devilama to get out. But I see no reason not to just wait for Zeus to respawn. But as I say this, Wildcard are just going to go. And the Ravage is on cooldown.
Yeah, I
maybe
guess
they can just punish here.
I think you see the replay of Natsumi literally just zeroing on it alone, just trying to take him down, but live they have managed to find Lelouch, and this is a huge kill. The basher out from Alex, just keeping him locked down, doesn't get a chance to use a single spell, BKB or anything. Lelouch is just taken off the face of the earth. Xavius? Well, they're actually jumping the backlines here. They want to try and take down Sideboy, and they'll be able to do exactly that, but the chain stun's coming out onto both Force and Natsumi as he's trying to fight up into the Tide Hunter. Tide's gonna get taken down as well. He gets a kill. Natsumi in the backlines, trying to bring down the Visage. He has a lot of damage and will be able to get that one. Now moving over towards a Morphling. He's got a lot of stacks. My boy's up to 42 agility right now. Sorry, 42 essence shift, which is 180 agility. He can't fight this anymore. He needs to leave. Then comes the Zeus. Oh my god! Oh my god! It's the Slark! He gets evaporated from the face of the earth!
Oh, he's not going to make it out either.
Oh no, this might be it. Polaris. They'll lose another 4 heroes dead. Base wide open. The red carpet laid out for Wildcard to finish this one off.
Man, absolutely a glimmer of hope there with the Slark getting all the stacks, but Alone just slams the door shut in their face. Great play from Eves as well, getting the jump away. Devilama's going ham again. He's feeling it.
Yep, look at this. Eves taking down the barracks, getting the megas, and now they will just look to take down those tier 4s. Making an offering of power treads as well. Oh,
actually,
so he gets the buyback, right?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, you shouldn't interact with those items. Don't do it.
It's a trap. Well, he's taking some heavy hits right now, but does have the Aegis, of course, so isn't really worried. Polaris, what can they do? I mean, they do have a Lina and a Lion. Definitely a worse combo to be stuck trying to defend here, but as Alina has no BKB, it might be pretty difficult to survive through the Zeus. Zeus is just going to take them both out Alone. He closes the door, and that's going to be it. GG gets called, and Wildcard get the 2-0 over Polaris. Esque, says Devilama.
Dang. GG, no airport.
Wow,
oh my god.
Wow.
Did they even believe it? They're just... Alright. There's some hugs. They're moving on. Wow.
They are indeed, yeah, still a long way to go for this wildcard team, but what a step forward from them. At least a American team makes it out from the lower bracket first round, but yeah, this team was not the one we would have expected. Out of all 4 teams, you know, coming into it, I think Wildcard might have been considered, you know, one of the weakest, but they've just turned those expectations around. They've turned it into their power, the power of the underdog, and they'll take out Polaris, who were previously in the upper bracket this morning, and how hard they have fallen.
Yeah, now they find themselves among the 4 teams eliminated here today from the last chance qualifiers. Wildcard looking so composed during their matches. Both games they started out with, you know, a fairly significant disadvantage. The side lanes going relatively poorly. Maybe not the Devilama lane in the first game, but you know, this game, Devilama was left completely on an island. Eve was also kind of struggling a little bit. Force looked like he was completely out of control on the Tide. they kept it together. They made some really clutch movements, some clutch ganks, some great team fights, and I can't wait to see them continue on in the bracket.
Yeah, no idea what's going to happen tomorrow, but I certainly know that Wildcard Gaming are going to put up a fight, as they always have done in every step of the road. And yeah, this is just a crazy result. I mean, commiserations to Polaris. You know, honestly, I did mean it earlier when I said I want to see both these teams at TI, because they can just cause such upsets, and both of them can, and both of them did, but only one of them is going to get the chance to do so in the future here in the LCQs at the very least, as Polaris has just been kind of, I don't know, like the inconsistency this season, it really hurts.
Yeah, they had super high highs, but didn't have the comfort here, right? Wildcard Gaming, both games, nothing was really completely unexpected. I don't know if we would have, called this a lone Zeus necessarily, but everybody else on Wildcard just kind of on comfort heroes, and it showed. They looked really good. And what a performance from Alex. I don't think he's getting the Marcy ever again. That's probably the end of that.
No, pretty ridiculous, disrupting the mid lane massively, getting some early kills onto the Loach, and then later on just basically becoming another core. It's not okay what this hero can do with like 2 items.
And this was the moment that really looked good for Polaris. It didn't seem like Wildcard. In fairness, it was just a lot of pickoffs, right? This wasn't really a team fight, and this is when Natsumi was still looking scary. Polaris were cementing their lead, and somehow Wildcard just they stayed composed. They got their items up, and even this fight, I think this just goes to show Slark wishes he had a BKB. God, he wishes he had a BKB. This is going to be one of those games that haunts him a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I still have no idea what this Octarine call was about. Like, I don't understand it at all. Sorry, the Lincolns. Yeah.
Yeah, I get the idea. It's like I don't want my stats stolen. This Morphags is really strong, but there's just too many things to pop it. It's not doing what you're expecting it to do. This game.
Yeah, and like the Morphags, you don't even need to use like immediately in the fight, right? Like you can save it. It's not like a super high impact ability. You just want to get it off on him eventually at some point and weaken him when you get the opportunity to. So it's not like that snap initiation which Slark needs to be scared of, but maybe I just don't respect the Morphags enough as much as the Slark does. But yeah. Eve's also very consistent through both of the games today as well. He was some very good carry playing.
Yeah, did have to get bailed out a couple of times here and there by Sam, but that's what your supports are there for. That's what they're buying the 4-staff for, so that you can go in and then still get bailed out. And yeah, I think he looks great. The escape from when the Slark was wailing on him with the Aegis, getting that morph off and then being able to drag him all the way back to the Zeus, which this just completely closed the game out. That was a really nice play for sure.
Yeah, Alone getting it done. Crazy good series from Alone. He's just such a good player. It's definitely one to keep an eye on. Very young, 18 years old, remember, and this Zeus has just been getting it done time and time again.
Yeah, and with that they've punched themselves a ticket to play up against Vici in the next round. So that should be an exciting one, actually. I don't see any reason why Wildcard can't just continue to build on this momentum. There are going to be more eyes on them now, so we might see teams start poking some holes in their drafts a little bit, but if they can play like they did today, I think they could actually make it reasonably far.
Yeah, and Vici are a serious team with some big names in it as well, so another big challenge for Wildcard. But as we see, their mentality seems great. They seem very chill. They don't seem worried, and Davai Lama will be our match MVP for this one. I mean, maybe it's just carrying over from game 1.
Look, I think he played well, and he gets MVP for MVP player cam reactions as well in both games. He certainly looked great for us.
He did, playing up to the camera and yeah, being the motivator his team needed him to be, and being that force of PMA, you know, always very, very important. Absolutely. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this series, and yeah, just closing thoughts on Polaris and you know, what they kind of need to work on this series, I guess. Do you think it was all in the laning phase, or?
I don't necessarily want to pin it all on the laning phase. I think the Tidehunter pick maybe letting them down a little bit in both drafts. Maybe that flexibility becoming their undoing a little bit in the very end, where you know, some of these things, like if they had just played a whole bunch more games of Slark, maybe Natsumi would have had a slightly better read on what exactly he needed, and the Lelouch Lina just not really coming through in the way that they were expecting. So they're looking good. I think this team can come back stronger, but unfortunately their season ends here.
Yeah, we'll see what they can bring next season. That's going to be it for them. Wildcard move on, but don't go anywhere as we have our panel to break down the day's game. So we'll throw it over to Natty, Fia, T-Panda, and Kezu.
Thank you so much, Nomad and Basket. Those guys were just fantastic in that Polaris Wildcard series. T-Panda, do you have any thoughts that you kind of want to throw out there about that series, the first 2-0 that we have had here on our mainstream?
It's also the first 2-0 Wildcard has had during the course of this LCQ. They've had ties, they've had losses, and now grinding a 2-0 victory for NA. I mean, probably some North American fans are happy that they didn't get knocked out, because Nouns is out, Infamous is out, Tempest is out, but there's one survivor.
Yeah, that's right. Wildcard kind of pulling the weight right now for the American region. It is sad to see Polaris fall a little bit short there. You know, they had a bit of a rough DPC season, but they looked fantastic with a little bit of a shuffle throughout the regional qualifiers. It's not enough, though, to get it done, so they are all done and dusted. Fia, do you see some, I guess, glimmer of hopes for Polaris, or was this just a Wildcard series through and through?
It was very close games, so I think Polaris definitely had the glimmers of hope in this game, but you know, my boys, North America, when all going out here in the first round of the lower bracket, some of us are gonna fight on, and hopefully they bring that energy and we can, you know, continue to bring some more wins for the region. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I just want more of those player cam reactions, because Dalai Lama looked absolutely amazing. He was so hyped. He's looking around the rest of the team, maybe not on the same level as him, but I'm sure they're all celebrating after escaping being knocked out right there. But we had other series going on. It was a very long day today. I know over on B-Stream we had VG up against Nouns, so we could talk about, I guess, the other unfortunate result for NA was seeing it Nouns go out Kezu, them also being in a 2-0.
Yeah, sadly for them, it didn't really work out. They had a couple of good plays coming out in their games too that we may have a chance to also look at later. So this is going to be the first one. So you have a pretty long engagement here where they fight. There's also going to be very similar clips from both the games, but as you see here, you have Vici coming with a lot of heroes. They can't quite get down Kostabile, he's very tanky, but eyes on Gunner here, who's coming through the river with his Invis rune. He even gets pinged out by BAB on the Mars, and you see the fight continuing. And this is going to be the first time for Nouns in this game that they take the lead. So the fight continues. It continues. They get a little bit spread. And now we have Gunner in a moment. He comes with the Invis rune. He's gonna, he's waiting for the right opportunity. He's gonna get his Requiem on these two heroes. It's gonna be Erika's first death of the game. And BAB on the Mars also TPs here. And in the aftermath, they know this. They get him killed. And this was a very big swing for Nouns in this first game. And then in the next clip, it's one of the nicest executions that I have seen that I really want to highlight. It's around the Roshan. They're smoking right now with the Mars Snap and Undying. And the way that they use their spells, which we don't see it quite yet, but the Snapfire ulti, it gives vision while being mid-air for the Mars to make this exact jump right now. They also, at the same time, they force the BKB from Gunner. They disengage with a 4-staff cookie from Yang. Then they buy enough time for the BKB to wear off, for their Pugna to respawn, for their Morph to arrive, and then Vici are actually the ones that claim this Aegis. And then the last clip of this game is already going to be like, we have to skip a little bit ahead. They're already going high ground. They're up 9,000 gold. This Morphling is a monster. You see Chad Yang, he just mans up. He drops his tombstone here. And then if we look at the fight, he gets to take the racks pretty much for free on Morphling. And I just want to highlight how these heroes die. There's a great arena in the back again. And now it's just arena, Snapfire Kisses, and Tombstone basically kill both the Lone Druid and the Dragon Knight in this game. And then after that, Vici, they take the second set of racks, and they basically get to close out this first game.
Yeah, that was some wild fights.
No, it really was. Like, all these spells, it was just very hard for now.
Totem, I think he had a lot of rough games, this Earthshaker, and he's generally just kind of a bit of a weak laner, but I think overall he played against way too many Morphlings and got figured out, so people are going to kind of slow down picking the Shaker unless the Morph is banned.
Alrighty, well, we do have to close out today, and we will see you guys back here on the main channel bright and early tomorrow morning. Thank you all so much for